Don't you wanna feel good, good, good? Sometimes I wish that we could go back before you got hurt, hurt, hurt. When before I was scared, now I'm feeling prepared. Don't you wanna feel good? Don't you wanna feel good, good, good?
When you say you were leaving, I thought that you meant it. I played the victim, you starred as indifferent. Hindsight comes standard with rose-colored lenses. Hate to admit it, you're better off. Now you're too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start it.
Maybe feeling strange, I could be another. All the reasons why we've been separate ways. Feeling all alone in your company. Keeping you captive in guilty chains.
We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses.
You wanna know my feelings every time I look in your eyes. Baby, I can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Wow.
NA production.
Whoa.
NA production. I
So
love
so
it.
what I'm hearing is that Fades was so small that no one could either hear or see him. That's great.
We're not
This
doing
is
that
way
today. We're not doing that today.
Oh,
No,
we're
welcome.
absolutely doing that.
We're definitely doing that today.
Welcome in everybody to RFDL Week 9, Day 2. I'm Ecliptic Fades. I'm joined by Firestreak and Docky, and seems like they're having a great start to their day. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all great.
Feeling fantastic. I'm excited for today, guys.
I am also excited for today. We had some excellent matches yesterday. We got some excellent matches for you today. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the matches yesterday. Oh my god, I can't speak today. Let's talk about some of the matches yesterday to start off. And we're going to start off with X3 Tactics and Fox Clan. And X3 Tactics definitely looked shaky yesterday. And little bit, Docky mentioned it during the stream, but a little bit of tilt coming out from the XT3 Tactics squad, I think, as Fox Clan was able to take that in 4. But it was a great game. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was a. Oh. You go, Ducky. You go, Ducky. Oh.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, like you said, Foxland had so much momentum, and I don't know why, but that seemed to have an effect on the mental of that X3 team, especially going into that final game where they kind of trolled for the first like 3 minutes of it, and then they brought it back. So I think they could have absolutely won that. Unfortunately, though, it just didn't go that way for them, and Foxland able to squeak out of it with the win there. But yeah, I mean, it was all things considered, it was a pretty good series.
So yeah, that's I think that's kind of one of the things that people can kind of take to their advantage, I guess you could say, with X3, is they're very, very reliant on Corrupt as of now. And if he's having like a bad day on the mental, if he's like off at all, it's over for them. Like it's going to be a tough match for them. So I think Foxland did a really good job of maybe disrupting that mental a little bit and then taking really good advantage of that. And that's something not a lot of teams have been able to do, but Foxland was able to do it. So well played to them.
I kind of agree with that. I think, like, you know, you always have to give Shy some credit when it comes to the attacking aspect of X3 Tactics. I think that they really do help the squad round out, and they are kind of pivotal in those game wins. They kind of need both Corrupt and Shy to be able to get those shots on net, and even if one of them is having an off day, it does make it a tough match, but not definitely impossible for the team. It just seemed like during this match, the entire team just felt a little bit off. There were constant whiffs on the ball and constant mistakes being made on the back line that you usually don't see from this squad. And I'm definitely just thinking that, you know, it was just not their week. Every team has a week like that. This one was just theirs. But I mean, they're still at a really good record going forward. Only losing 2 games out of the last 9, or 2 matches out of the last 9, so they're 7-2. But yeah, no, I'm looking pretty forward to seeing what this team can do later on in week number 10, and going into the mid-season. They're gonna want to try and stop the bleeding here, though, if they want to keep that first seed in their hands. And speaking of contests for the first seed, we had the second game here, Awoptic versus Black Bunny, and I mean, Docky, I'll just let you talk about this match a little bit, because, you know, you were in it, so.
Yeah, it was fun. Definitely did not feel like we played as good as we should have, and I mean, we know that, so that team, that Black Bunny team, is just, there's a lot of pressure. Kiki, who's been playing a lot better, I think, more recently, and then Hammers, obviously, you know. But yeah, I know, we tried our best, but not quite good enough, and I still had fun, so it was a good match.
Yeah, I have to agree. Now, when it comes to standings here, not necessarily a bad spot for your team taking that loss, because you're still in, like, the middle of the pack right here. Black Bunny, though, does now have the opportunity to try and steal away that first seed next week against X3 Tactics, as they are tied in a record now. So they're going to be wanting to look for a big win coming up soon. And next week, I believe, if I'm correct, they are going to be playing Protogen Rebellion. So might be a little bit of an easier match for them. Depending on how Proto is looking this week. They have been ramping up as of recently, so maybe this is the worst time to play Protogen Rebellion. We'll have to see how they do in week 10. But yeah, no, Black Bunny did look really good, as you said. Hammer is hammer. Kiki has been doing really good on pressure. So they're looking like a well-oiled team right now, and we're going to have to look for somebody to put a stop to them. Fire, what do you think of the series?
I think overall it was a really good series. I mean, the Hammer that Hammer was playing like really well, but the player on Black Bunny that really stood out to me was Kiki. I feel like this was the first week that I saw that Kiki looked really, really comfortable in their rotations. And I think that's kind of a scary proposition because if I remember right, there were 2 or 3 plays that they made just in like the last 2 games in that series that I saw where I was like, okay, Kiki, I see you. I see what you're doing. But for a Waptic, I'm kind of looking at where this is going to leave him in the standings. And since we have the Dignipaws match coming up, it doesn't matter which one of those 2 teams wins it. They are more than likely going to pass a Waptic in the standings. That's going to put a Waptic in that 9th spot. So we'll need to see where how Protogen Rebellion does and where they're going to compare to them going into this next week. But yeah. I think this match was kind of a big one for both teams, and I think both teams played pretty darn well because of it. So, well played to both.
Yeah, I have to agree. And then we had our 3rd match of the day, and this one was a really nice one to see. Protogen 1 versus the new Twisted Tails squad, and it was quite a match. I think we got our first game 5, I believe. It went, no, did it go to 4 or did it go to 5 yesterday? I can't remember.
It did go to 5, Fade.
It did go to 5, so I am happy to see that. But I will say the Protogen 1 squad is looking really good, but so is Twisted Tails. This new iteration of the team impressed me for their first showing on the league stage. And Protogen 1 is not an easy team to take to 5 games. And for Liska, Skifty, and Golden to be able to do that with barely a week of practice together, it speaks a lot about what this team is going to be able to do in the future. So looking very forward to seeing what they can do. But what did you guys think?
I mean, this Twisted Tails roster, just because of the position that they are in, being a new roster, and maybe fighting a little bit of an uphill battle going forward, I think I saw it being said by Golden in the chat yesterday. They have nothing to lose, so they are going to be just swinging for the fences this entire season. And I think that's going to turn into some really entertaining gameplay from them. And ultimately, I think that has the potential to bode very, very well for them going forward into the, coming into the midpoint of this season. As I said yesterday, I could see this team taking a couple of games before mid-season and being in a bit of a more favorable spot going into mid-season. So we'll need to see how it works out for them. But yeah, I'm really excited for this team.
Docky, any thoughts?
I didn't get to watch this one, so I am out of the loop.
Okay, interesting. Because I was gonna actually ask a question about mid-season here, but well, I'm kind of wondering right now. So the old Twisted Tails roster was pretty good. They kept constantly getting to game 5, but it just seemed like the rotations with Joshi were not necessarily the best. It was more of a solo Joshi show a lot of the time, and Liska and Baxis weren't really getting a lot of time to shine. This one looks a little bit more of a team-oriented play style, which I'm liking to see. And I'm just trying to think, a team of this caliber, Skifty, Golden, and Liska, what do you think their chances are of being able to win the mid-season tournament? Because it would be absolutely incredible to have our 12th place team suddenly win mid-season out of nowhere.
I mean, anything's possible, right? I think anyone can win it technically. I will say I think they're at a little bit of a disadvantage. They don't really have like a that kind of like upper rank that's gonna be able to win those 1v1s almost guaranteed. And then the 2v2s also might be a little bit difficult for them. But I mean, they definitely have a chance. I don't think that there's like they're at a disadvantage. So obviously, yeah, if they were able to do that, that would be fantastic. Being able to secure that spot without having to worry too much about league play. But we'll have to see. Obviously, I think they're going to be, hungry for that more than anyone.
Yeah, I mean, and with Skifty being sort of a ones main themselves, I mean, they'll at least be able to put on a fight, but we'll have to see when mid-season comes around to figure out exactly where they're going to be. But we do have 3 more matches for today, so let's go ahead and talk about those coming forward. Looking at the matches for today, we're going to be starting off with Dignipaws versus Dignipaws. Then we'll be going to Protogen Rebellion versus BDS and ending the day with LumiMawcity versus Clawed9. It's going to be a great day. We're going to see where the rest of these teams end up at the end of week 9. And then after that, guys, we are going to be getting a week break. So that's going to be really nice for Twisted Tails because they're going to get an extra week before they have to play another match to kind of practice and get those rotations down. It's also going to just let a lot of these teams just take a little time off, take a much needed break from having to worry about league stuff every single week, and maybe start focusing on the next step ahead, which is the mid-season tournament, because that is going to be a very big one, and the implications for winning that are huge, especially if you're one of those teams in the lower 4 at the end of week 11. But yeah, guys, what matches are you looking forward to today?
Personally, I'm looking forward to that first one that we've got, because like Fire said, in terms of standings, this will have I think a major factor in who kind of moves up and who moves down. So I think that'll be fun to watch.
I mean, I think Docky kind of stole the game I'm excited for, but that's fine. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to that Protogen Rebellion and Big Dragon Squad matchup. I mean, you get Static against Reverb. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm hyped for that one.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Protogen Rebellion and BDS, both teams have been on the upswing recently, especially Protogen. I mean, they did technically get a week off last week because Twisted Tails was not here for their match, so I'm wondering if that'll make them come out a little bit slower. But I want to see how Reverb is playing. I've always heard that Static and Reverb being in the same lobby is chaos, and I just want to see if that's going to be the same, or if any of the teams are going to be coming with that winning mentality for the day, if they're going to be trying to take it a little bit more serious, especially Protogen Rebellion, because they want to get out of that bottom 4 as soon as possible, especially with mid-season coming up. But we'll talk about that match later. Let's get into the first match of the day, guys, and it's going to be Dignipaws versus Dignipaws. Battle of the Paws here, guys. We finally got it in week number 9, and both these teams have been doing pretty decent. They're at the same spot in the standings right now. I think they're actually tied in the standings. I want to make sure of that real quick before I say that. Dignipaws has a little bit of a lead in game differential, but that is about it. But yeah, no, both these teams are really good. Docky, what's your thoughts on the match coming up with these teams?
I hope it goes to game 5. I need more of that in my life right now. So Fire, please.
Oh, we'll pull through. I got you, Docky.
Awesome. That's about it. For me, like I said, the biggest thing for me in these matches is always going to be like the entertainment fun factor in it. So seeing more closer matches is always a plus.
Yeah, I have to agree, and we'll go ahead and let Fire go ahead and talk about his team coming in here, Dignipaws.
I mean, what can I say? Strawberry, a very solid player, and then we also got Pictus, who, last week's MVP, a very, very good player, and hopefully doesn't get the MVP curse. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because, yeah, we don't want to see that out of him, but ultimately, I have faith in our team. I think we're really starting to gel together as a team pretty well as of lately, and yeah, I mean, as long as the other two can carry that Fire Streak guy hard enough, we'll be fine. So, yeah.
I've been seeing some really good stuff from this Dignipaws team, and as you said, last week Pictus MVP for a reason. They destroyed us. Looked so insane during that entire match, and the rotations you guys had were looking very solid, very clean. It was very hard to do anything against you guys. So, whichever team would have to play you this week, playing off of that momentum as you guys still have it, that's a very tough task ahead. But there is going to be a team here that will put up a fight in Dignipaws, but there is a little bit of a change today, guys, because we are not getting the normal roster of Dignipaws. You can see everybody on the screen here. You got Yuki, Nova, and Sylvie as the usual 3. However, Runeski is coming in to play this match. They are going to be taking the replacing Yuki for the squad today. So it's gonna be Sylvie, Yuki, Sylvie, Runeski, and Nova Fox. That is a tongue twister for sure. But I'm excited to see what they can do, Docky. Runeski we've seen play once. I think it was in week 1, and they did a really good job with the team. Now with Nova being on the team instead of the third that they had before, team might look a little different. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not certain. I haven't played with Runescape in a while. The last time I played with Runescape, they had a, say, hyper aggro a little bit playstyle. They are very much a attack the ball constantly kind of player. And that worked out, I think, well for them in the past. I don't know if they've changed since then, but if they still play like that, I imagine they'll be annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I mean, the last time we saw Runeski, as I said, I think it was during week 1. Right now, his stats are at a goal per game, 3 saves per game, 2 shots per game, and 2 demos per game, because they actually only played in game number 1, which was very interesting to say the least. So their stats are a little bit inflated off of that one game. We'll have to see if playing an entire series is going to raise or lower that. But Fire, before we get into this match, why don't you tell us the predictions coming into today?
Absolutely, Fade. You know we love to do that. And it was definitely an interesting one on the predictions. We had Fades, you said that you thought Dignipaws was going to win in 4, which is a sentiment that Airlax also agreed with. Meanwhile, Docky said Dignipaws was going to take it in a sweep. Kind of crazy, if you ask me, not going to lie. But then Gala also was on the Dignipaws hype train, going a 5-game series in favor of Dignipaws. So it seems like we have a Dignipaws lean for the death this time, but not a sweep. So there should be no caster cursing going on here.
All right. Well, we'll just have to see what these guys can do, because everybody, put your hands together. It's time for the first match of the day. It's going to be Dignipaws versus Dignipaws. As we said before, the Battle of the Paws. Which one of these bean-related logos is going to reign supreme? We'll find out right now. Docky, let's get this one started. And we'll start off here in Game 1 on Manfield Night. Starting with a kickoff, going over to Nova. He's going to immediately try to put a shot on net. An excellent touch, but it's not going to be in the back of the net this time. Defense will be able to clear it away. Fire Streak going for a shot of their own. And already 15 seconds in, we're seeing pressure from both sides. This might be an opportunity, but Fire just not in the right spot. Maybe jumped a little late for that one. And the ball is going to move back towards the Dignipaws side. Strawberry will get this save. But Sylvie in control of the ball, looking for the double tap. It's going to go down. Runeski with the shot, saved away by Fire.
And a little bit of that early game kind of awkwardness from both sides. A lot of opportunities, but not quite able to put the ball in the back of the net. We've seen some awkward defense as well from both teams. I think luckily for both teams, at least, it's been awkward from both sides. So no goals have gone in. Take some time to, I think, kind of set into the match. Another miss from Sylvie comes out, and again, game 1s are always so awkward, especially in league matches like this, where you're probably not super grinding beforehand. So you might need this first match as a warm-up. And I think we're starting to see teams get a little bit more warmed up, but still those first game awkwardness as Sylvie misses again, and it looks like first match is going to be a little bit floppier.
RuneScape going to have this up the corner, but 8 boost in tank, not really anything to do with that one. Except move it forward as much as possible, but it just goes straight to Pictus. And if we learned anything from last week, is you do not want to give Pictus that sort of space with the ball, even if it's the tiniest amount of space. As long as he can get past 1 with a lot of boost in the tank, that might be a success. Another shot from Dignipaws going to be going off the post and out. Dignipaws getting away with one with 3 minutes remaining.
And again, waiting for both teams, I think, to settle in. I think both teams kind of need that first shot to go in. And as I say that, a nice shot from Nova is a good setup from Sylvie. Nice touch. I think both of Spire and Strawberry kind of watching Sylvie and might not even seen Nova go for that shot. I think that's, if you're Dignipaws, that's exactly what you need. You need to score quickly and I get the ball moving. It's a little bit less awkward now. They might feel a little bit more warmed up.
And if you're a fan of Dignipaws, you're going to want to see a quick counterattack, which might happen here. Fire looking for the shot, but Sylvie is just going to be in the right spot for that. Rolling on the ground, we'll be able to clear it. Over to RuneScape now, taking this up, looking for the shot. Pictus will be there to clear this one away. With a close one, though, from the Dignipaws roster, maybe going a little bit too far forward, not expecting RuneScape to get that touch overneath, but Strawberry is going to be able to connect with this pass from Fire and gets an excellent shot to tie up the game.
Yeah, fortunate heavy touch from RuneScape. Sylvie's a little bit awkward coming off the backboard trying to get to that one in time. And like you said, if you're Dignipaws, you want that counterattack, and this is the best way to do it. That goal going. Both teams have kind of marked their stamp on the game. It's kind of what you kind of want in these first games. It's good to get that goal in the first one. As Nova cuts off a pass, that doesn't even need to touch it again. That one just floats right in the net. Dignipaws gets their lead right back.
Just a heavy touch from Pictus there, trying to gain control of that ball, trying to pop it where nobody's going to be at. Nobody expects Nova to just be up for that ball there. And it's just going to leave the back line a little bit defenseless. Now Dignipaws looking to tie up this game once again. Sylvie going to try and get that lead a little bit farther as they try to get the wave dash on the ground into a pop. Not going to be able to do so. Pictus now with space, but Sylvie is going to clear that out real quick. Learning from Cloud9 last week not to give them any space. Now Fire is going to win the challenge. Pictus has a free ball, but the shot is awkward and it goes off to the side. Dignipaws kind of get away with one there.
Yeah, if you're Dignipaws, you kind of want that one back. A big miss from RuneScape, but I don't think anyone expected it. RuneScape misses yet again. A little bit uncomfortable, I think, for them right now. Not quite confident going into the air as a full team commit will get that one saved away. Dignipaws still in the lead. I was though probably thinking they've had a few good opportunities. They just have not been able to put it in the back of the net. They have an opportunity here for it here, though. Both teams, both members of Dignipaws rather, low on boost, but just not a shot good enough to get on net as this one clings off the post and there's not going to be a follow-up. Dignipaws still holding on to that 1-goal lead to hit the 1 minute mark. Dignipaws hoping to continue the pressure on. They'll just have to get some of these shots on net.
It just seems like that is the one thing that they're lacking right now. They've got a lot of pressure. They're just not putting those shots into the back of the net. That accuracy coming back to bite them a little bit in this game number 1. As they try for another counterattack. RuneScape with a high clear, but no one going to be able to get up from the Dignipaws defense to be able to clear that out. Now Sylvie taking control, past Pictus with the flip reset, gets past another, and clears it past the whole team, but nobody's going to be able to move this forward anymore for the Dignipaws roster. Sylvie just taking control of the ball again. So much space being given to Sylvie here. That might not necessarily be in Dignipaws' best interest. With only 16 seconds remaining, they need to push down the field now. Pictus is going to try and get it clear, but it goes straight to Sylvie again. Another shot, Fire Streak there for the save. With 5 seconds left, they need to push now. Fire Streak is going to keep this one alive. But this hits the ground, and it will. Dignipaws going to be taking game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good look from Dignipaws. They just were not able to shoot the ball on target. And, you know, that might be unfortunate, but I think they can go into game 2 knowing that they had a lot of pressure and they should have converted. Continue with the pressure, just up the accuracy. They'll have a good chance here in game 2.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I just think it was a game of literal accuracy being the problem there. They had really good opportunities. You can see quite a lot bouncing in front of the Dignipaws net. They just couldn't put it into the right spot. But for Dignipaws, you're going to have to be really careful going into this game, too. We saw a lot of whiffs coming out from the entire squad. And they're going to really need to clean that up if they want to keep the pressure on Dignipaws here. We're going to have to see what Dignipaws can do to kind of keep those shots away from the net as well, as we saw a couple of defensive errors on their side, allowing some of those goals to go in as well. But yeah, we'll have to see when we get into game number 2, who is going to take this this one. And I mean, Dignipaws definitely going to want to try and take this one if possible. Put Dignipaws in a reverse sweep situation. That's never fun to do if you are on the opposite side of that. Puts a lot of pressure on your team to win 3 games in a row when you just lost the first 2. But as we get into game number 2 here, we'll see Strawberry taking this ball immediately. A good pass out to the midfield. Fire trying to get up for that one, but it's going to be taken away by Sylvie. Now, big clear downfield by Roomski. Not going to go into the net as Sylvie is there looking for the double tap. What an excellent redirect over the head of Firestreak. Unfortunately, nobody else expecting that touch to come out. Everybody staying back a little bit. A little reserved, I would say, from the Dignipaws roster here. As they try to keep this defensive line intact. The first 30 seconds of the game has gone by. Not much pressure to be found for either team.
You got a little bit of boomer ball here. It's kind of just get the ball out of your own half. Not really too much control. As I say that, I picked this a lot of control there. Fortunately for him, though, one's not going to go in. Now, like you were saying, there's not been a whole lot of opportunities for these. Shooting, at least to shoot on net. Pick this, though, trying to change that. Because though they're so far back, they're not really in a dangerous situation, but if they continue to let this pressure mount on them, it's not going to go well for them. I think this will have another attempt. This one is saved away once again, but the boost on Dignipaws is getting lower and lower as this pressure continues to mount, and you have to think a goal for Dignipaws is just around the corner.
Now a big clear downfield, definitely needed for Dignipaws, but Fire is going to have that in the midfield. Tries to keep it up, but no one actually challenging from Dignipaws, just letting them take the ball on Dignipaws, waste some of that boost a little bit. Now Sylvie trying for a shot, gonna be picked up by Pictus as it bounces off the crossbar. And that was a close one for Dignipaws. You might want to get in the air and try to stop those shots before they're on top of your net. As if you give Sylvie that chance again, I'm sure they're going to be able to put that shot in. Now, with another chance, pass over to Nova Fox. Not going to be able to put it quite into the back of the net here. Pictus now with a lot of space. Roomski just up immediately for that, but Pictus, you can see the patience on them, not taking any sort of move towards that ball, allowing Roomski to just miss it. And now Strawberry in an awkward position as Sylvie was looking at a shot opportunity there. Pass to the midfield, but no one for Dignipaws does have the boost to move forward. We're seeing the pressure mount from Dignipaws now. Firestreak gonna have to do what he can to get this out, but Docky, we're seeing Dignipaws start to look for another shot.
Yeah, and we've kind of moved from the boomer ball to quite the opposite now, where it's just been a whole lot of midfield play. Now we seem really able to get out of the midfield. It just seems to go back and forth. I'm hoping to see as a shot opportunity comes down from Sylvie, and I've seen Sylvie do this a million times, and I'm not surprised that happens here as a fantastic ground pinch comes out, and that is just impossible to deal with. You have to be so ready for those pinches to come out, and if you're not, it's just in your net, and I was happy to see the lead back again.
And I don't know if I'm totally correct on that, but I think this is the first time we've seen a pinch like that come out from Dignipaws in the league, so that's not something that you're necessarily expecting when you're on this Dignipaws roster. It's not something that you're expecting to see them do. Meanwhile, when somebody's playing against, say, like an Aerolax, you're kind of expecting those pinches to come out, as that is one of their signature moves. Now, Dignipaws finding themselves at a deficit once again, needing to push back for, I think, the 3rd time in this series. Haven't been able to get the lead just yet. Sylvie Gonna be looking for an opportunity. No boost in the tank, so gonna have to abandon that play. However, plenty of boosts now. Pictus already up for the challenge, but that's gonna be all the boosts out of their tank. And Strawberry gonna be the last one back for Dignipaws. We'll be able to get a pop here and get to pass Nova. Opportunity on the wings. But Sylvie doing such a good job at cutting that in a perfect touch, almost over fire, to keep Dignipaws in the lead here. A minute left, Docky, and Dignipaws needs one.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a showcase of Sylvie's ability to control the ball. We've seen it quite a bit so far in this series, and seemingly not stopping anytime soon. I've seen that from both Sylvie and Pictus. I think both teams letting their GC3s just kind of take turns shooting the ball and taking control of it. I mean, if you're Dignipaws, you're happy to see that's definitely working for them. Dignipaws maybe hoping to give more space to Pictus. I'm sure he would love the opportunity to do the same as Sylvie's been doing so far in this series, but as it stands, 20 seconds left just about. Paws will definitely need a goal quickly. Definitely don't want to go on triple match point.
Now Sylvie in the midfield gets the flip reset, doesn't use it to fake out the rest of the team on Dignipaws, who is looking to jump. 10 seconds left. And if they can't score here, game 2 gonna go to Dignipaws. A big clear from Sylvie. Pictus is demoed. And Strawberry gonna have to keep this up, but can't do so. Dignipaws is going to go to match point. And Dignipaws has to fight back somehow here.
Yeah, I mean, so the names being so similar. I keep accidentally almost saying the other one, but yeah, I definitely think that we saw a little bit of a change in gameplay from Dignipaws, and I don't think that was necessarily the right step. I think they had a much better game plan in game 1. They changed it up a little bit. I don't think that worked out too well for them. They had significantly less pressure than we saw in game 1. I'm not sure if that was an adjustment that they made consciously. But if you're Dignipaws, definitely wanting to go back to that first game they had with that constant pressure, they just weren't able to connect on, and they didn't have as many opportunities as Dignipaws had. So, for Dignipaws, you only did leave let the one go. So it's not, it's not the end of the world. You definitely know you can come back in the series. I'll have to start though with game 3.
Yeah, and you definitely are going to have to relieve some of that pressure that Dignipaws had on the net. It was just constant ball possession from them. And I am very impressed by seeing how Runesky is adapting to fitting into the rotations of Sylvie and Nova right now. They're doing a really good job at playing around those two, and they're putting on some really good shots as well, making the Dignipaws defense actually get up and expend their boost to save some of these more difficult reads, which is definitely helping out in the pressure side of things. Now, if you're Dignipaws, you have to figure out how to relieve that pressure as soon as possible. And going into game 3, they're going to look to do just that. Off the kickoff, Pictus immediately with a touch. It could go to the back of the net, but who else but Sylvie to be back saving that first onslaught from Dignipaws. Now let's see if they can keep this one up. Pictus with 100 boost. Not going to be able to find a double tap here. Just looks to disrupt the defensive line instead. Now going over to Fire. Fire looking for the touch. Going to be dropped down to Nova Fox. And Pictus just going to take that over to his own corner, allowing Strawberry to take control here. Runesky will cut them off. Pictus with the save. The one of many, I'm sure, to come in the next few minutes for this Dignipaws squad.
Yeah, it sounds like they were listening to what we said, as they've already completely changed back to, I think that we saw it similar in game 1 of this constant pressure. In the first minute of this game, there's basically been non-stop Dignipaws pressure, and you're rooting for them. That's definitely what you want to see. What you don't want to see is these shots go close to your net. You do not want to go down here and have to play from behind, especially on match point, going up against match point. Yeah, no, they've had quite a bit of pressure early on. This is significantly more than we saw in the game prior. So clearly that last game has not gotten to them too much, as they're really not faltering it by any means. Mental seems good, which is good to see, especially in times like this when you are, up against it. There's just so much pressure early on for Dignipaws, and completely reborn. Very different than we saw last game, so this is definitely the start if you want to have a chance at reverse sweeping here.
Now Sylvie trying to look for a pass to their teammates. Not going to go the right way, and that might be a shot going for Strawberry to get Dignipaws the lead for the first time in this series. And that's just not the best touch from Runesky there. Nova might have had a touch on that, but they actually turned around the long way. Instead of turning to the left, they turned to the right and got the full rotation in. Might not have been able to reach that ball either way. But Strawberry will definitely take that shot, and Dignipaws fans will love to see that the first goal goes over to them. Now, another opportunity, a miss on the back line, but the ball just going to be popped off the post, and that's something I've seen from Dignipaws during this series, and not just this series, but multiple, where Pictus is kind of like the front man, and he will get those really nice shots or really good passes, but the Dignipaws second and third just are staged a little bit too far back. You've got them both waiting around midfield instead of pushing a little bit closer, and they might be able to push a little bit farther up into the attacking third and maybe find some shots, but you can see why Pictus is the first man here. Incredible play coming out from them. It might have been a little bit of an own goal from Dignipaws, but Pictus will be taking that one.
Yeah, the ceiling double. I mean, when you're in the goal like that, you're not used to seeing goals that are shot like that. It's so difficult to read exactly where that's going to go. And I think Pictus, realized that, took full advantage of it. Didn't even really need to place it very well, just needed to get that on net. But you talk about Pictus being good at shooting on net like that. Another player that's really good at that is Sylvie, and off the ceiling, has the reset, doesn't even eat it, and a great play from them. And that's not good to see if you're Dignipaws. You don't want to see Sylvie popping off like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a scary sight, having to sit in net and watching Sylvie come off of the ceiling just to put one in the back of your net. I would definitely not want to be in that sort of position. I would like to see this though, Nova, a little bit of a whiff on this back line, and now Pictus beating one, Rumsky and Nova to beat. Dunks both of them. Sylvie with the miss, Fire with the shot, and it's going to be a third goal for Dignipaws. And that's exactly what I've been wanting to see from Dignipaws here. You see Fire move a little bit farther forward, find that opportunity that I was speaking of when Pictus has it in front of the net and takes the shot. A little bit of a bouncer, could have went straight in from Fire. Didn't really matter as long as it went in, and it did. And now a fourth goal might be in the wings for Dignipaws, but it is going to be put away by Nova.
Yeah, and such a good play from Dignipaws. Again, a lot of these goals are coming off of just that pressure. They've done such a good job of making it so Dignipaws has to kind of stretch for a lot of these goals, or a lot of these saves, and they're getting some of them, but the ones they aren't getting are obviously putting them at a disadvantage. It's working well for Dignipaws. They have the ability to counterattack here, and we have another opportunity here as Fire will get a nice shot. Doesn't need to do too much, as a little bit of an over-rotation from Dignipaws will leave the net wide open. Dignipaws maybe getting a little bit too desperate for some goals there, full sending their team and just having no one back, and Dignipaws will be happy to take advantage of that.
It is nice to see Fire able to score that shot, though, for us on the casting desk. Definitely gotta love seeing him being able to put some goals in this game. Make this one a real nice series. Now we're going to see if Dignipaws can come back here. A chance from the pass from Rumsky, but it just goes laterally across the Dignipaws net. Pictus playing this one slow, trying to get the 50. Looks for the boost as Rumsky gives so much space away to Pictus, and that is something you don't want to do if you're Dignipaws. Found out last week, you do not want to give Pictus any sort of space. But it works out in their favor. No goals scored, but with less than a minute to get 3, they're going to have to push this offense pretty quickly.
As that almost goes in, but that might just lead to another. No, Pictus has a little bit off to the side, unfortunately for them. But again, they don't really need a goal. That one not going in is not the end of the world for them. And honestly, if you're Dignipaws, you're kind of happy to just see the clock continue to roll down. But that one might go all the way. It does. No. It'll lead 30 seconds. It's not impossible for Dignipaws to come back in this game. Not quite sure what happened here on the side of Dignipaws. They definitely did not need to stretch out for a goal. They were up 3, but that one will end up in the back of their own net. So 2-goal lead, 30 seconds left. It's not impossible, but if Dignipaws just trying to waste time, not let this one not get too ahead of yourself and try to take this game.
And Dignipaws just going to want to try and play that defensive line now. Don't push too far up. Don't look too hungry for these goals, because if any team is going to be able to get past that defense, it is going to be Dignipaws here. so much skill and confidence coming out from Sylvie. You know they'll be able to shoot from anywhere. But with only 5 seconds left and only a couple of goals behind, it is going to go to Dignipaws. We are going to have a series on our hands here as they take game number 3.
No sweeps. But happy to see. At the very least, we do get 4 games. So closer to that 5 game that I was asking for. And I mean, this is a start. Dignipaws looking a lot stronger in this one. It's probably the strongest they've looked all series. So in terms of momentum, that's got to feel good for them.
Yeah, I have to agree. They're getting a lot of shots in now. Their accuracy has seemed to improve quite a little bit more. You're still seeing a little bit of mistakes coming out from them, but they are able to get this win, and it all can start with one win, especially in a reverse sweep. That's when your opponents might get in their own head, and you don't want to see that from Dignipaws. You're definitely going to want to just sit there and say, okay, that game didn't go our way. We'll see what we can do in game number 4. But for Dignipaws, or as I said, that's all they need to do. For Dignipaws, they're just going to need to keep up this aggression and this very attack-heavy play style that they have adopted for games 1 and 3. It seems to really be working out. And as I said, as long as you have that second man closer to the actual play happening on the goal line, you're going to see a lot more opportunities to put these goals in the back of the net. As long as your third man is playing a good enough role farther back, I think that that's a really good rotation. I'd like to see Dignipaws adapt going into their next few series. But game 4 is starting now, Docky, and Dignipaws still on match point.
And we're talking about adjustments at this point. Dignipaws has done a pretty good job of making the changes they needed to. We gotta hope, though, that Dignipaws isn't able to counter-adjust to that. I think it's difficult to make the adjustments. It's even more difficult to make adjustments to adjustments in the middle of series. Dignipaws definitely has their work cut out for them. But again, they are up in the series. They are on match point, so they have time, at the very least. Even if they do give this one up, they will have even more time to make those adjustments. But obviously, if you're Dignipaws, you want to end it here. You don't want to give them any more momentum, and this is the way to start, as RuneSkin gets a nice little play here. Got 1 goal lead in the first 30 seconds, and a nice catch. Gets a kind of a lucky bounce there from the pinch. I think that was Pictus that touched that, and Minsky will take full advantage of the free shot on net there, and 1 goal lead for Dignipaws.
And that was a really nice touch. Unfortunate for the defense there as that bounces off the card. Very awkward angle. But you gotta take it. Once again, Dignipaws looking at coming back here, tying up this game as fast as possible. You are not going to want to give Dignipaws any sort of lead in this game number 4. As they've been doing so well at just keeping that lead. And now an opportunity, but Pictus will be up for the save right on time. Still trying to take control there, but not a lot of boost. And Sylvie just doing so well to steal the boost of Dignipaws and just get back into the play, not allowing any space for any sort of counterattack to happen. Now Sylvie gonna get dunked by Pictus here. They'll be immediately turning again. It just seems like they're gonna be everywhere on this field, just the first to go at every single challenge. But now a lot of space being given to the Dignipaws roster. They don't know that Dignipaws doesn't have a lot of boost. If they did, I'm sure they'd be pushing a little bit harder there. Now, Strawberry in the midfield, beat by Roomski. Pictus will be the last one back, trying to take this one low. And just getting past Sylvie, that's gonna leave some room. Good shot from Pictus, and he ties up the game.
And you had to know, as soon as he got past the one and had that control, you had to know that was going in the net. He's so good at hitting those flicks as quickly as possible. And Rinsky, you have to hope that he doesn't get the flick, but of course it's Pictus, and Pictus has been doing that the past few weeks pretty well. So, of course, that one's going in. And Dignipaws, that's happened. It's exactly what you want to see. You want to see Pictus taking control of these shooting opportunities, as we might see another one go through, but no, Sylvie will have that one away. And passing that one down, but not quite able to get up to that one, and Dignipaws will take this away as a bump comes through, but that might actually work in favor of Dignipaws, as once again the awkward touch is going all in Dignipaws' favor. We'll see if they're able to correct here, though. I think Dignipaws, as we said, needed to make adjustments, and they definitely have. This Dignipaws team having a lot less offensive pressure than they had last game. Not sure if that's them trying to play a little bit safer, or if Dignipaws is just completely shutting that down. as it stands, we do have a tie game with just about half the game left.
Now it's pass opportunity, waterfall down from Pictus.
Oh.
But of course, it's going to be Sylvie in that back line, immediately taking that off of the wall. Now Runesky might look for the shot here. It's going to be a little bit to the side. Nova just going to have to play the 50. It goes past Runesky, but Sylvie will be in the back end trying to get this touch. Trying to figure out my words for a second there, my goodness. Now Runesky trying to get past Pictus, not able to do so, but does get the demo. Lots of Dignipaws offense here, though. A big touch from Strawberry is going to send us downfield. A opportunity once again. It's going to be put up high by Nova. And we're not seeing anything too threatening coming out from either teams in the last minute or so.
Yeah, I have to think that Dignipaws is probably not wanting to make a mistake to get them down a goal. The Dignipaws, you definitely don't want to be giving up momentum going into Game 5, but I'm not entirely sure what happened here. A ball goes unfortunately popped out directly to Runesky. Two members trying to go on the backboard. Strawberry in reverse, not able to get to that one in time, and well, that's exactly what I said you did not want to see for Dignipaws. You do not want to be down a goal here in this Game 4. Now you're clawing back into it. No, it's a minute and a half. It's definitely not impossible. There's a little bit of a disadvantage here having to come down one.
Disadvantage for sure. Definitely going to have that pressure on you a little bit if you're Dignipaws, especially with just about a minute remaining. But Pictus going to be looking to rectify that pressure pretty quickly. Strawberry with the touch. Oh. It's going to be off the back wall, but Fire in the perfect position to tie up this game once again with 57 seconds left.
I thought surely it might be a tragedy. That one just a little bit too high, but Fire quick to that one, and that's exactly what you need in those moments. You need your third man to kind of rush into it, take a little bit of a risky rotation, and Fire does a really good job of making sure he's not just in position, but shooting that where no one is on that Dignipaws team. And just like that, they're back in it. Of course, they definitely need to take a lead here. This is the start, though. You take these 1 goals at a time, and as far as they're concerned, they're no longer in the threat of losing this one, as they have tied it. To see though if they're able to take some momentum going forward, as might be an opportunity here, but one will be sent away. And 30 seconds left. We might have an overtime here in Game 4.
An overtime would definitely be a scary thing to see for Dignipaws right now. Being on golden goal territory at this point. Anything going in the back of the net.
No.
And it is going to be Nova getting an absolutely banger shot off of Fire. And Fire's touch just a little bit too heavy. Nova seeing the opportunity. That's quite a touch from them. With 13 seconds left, that might put the series in Dignipaws' grasp, or should I say their paws. The clock ticks down. Pictus trying to get this across the field. Gets a huge pinch, but Nova's going to be in place for the save. Sylvie's just going to let this drop, and the series is going to go to Dignipaws.
Oh man, that's tragic. It has to end that way, but unfortunately it does, and oh my goodness. That's that's a good game. Fortunate for Dignipaws though, just losing it within literally the last 10 seconds off of a unfortunate mistouch, and they played so well, but just unfortunately not able to get there in the end. And I mean, hats off to Dignipaws. They played incredibly well, considered they had to sub in Runesky there at the last, probably not last minute, but definitely we're not planning for that, I think. And well played to both teams.
Yeah, I think both teams looked really good there. There's just a little bit of accuracy issues on Dignipaws right now, but I'm sure that they will take the next couple of weeks while we have this week break to go ahead and fix that. And Dignipaws looking very strong, very interested on seeing what they're going to be doing going forward, if they're going to continue up with this sort of pressure. And Runesky showing once again that when he is playing on the team, they're looking really good. He did so in that first game in week 1, and he did so this entire series. He's looking like a really good player for the team. Wonder if they'll ever try to put him in the whole roster. But definitely could say well played to both teams. But guys, that is NA production. That is NA production for you guys, as always. But what I was trying to say is that that's only the first game of the day. We still have 2 more series left for you guys. Up next, we have Protogen Rebellion playing against Big Dragon Squad. You're not going to want to miss this one. We'll see you guys after the break.
Peace.
Rushing through my veins, your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand out death so we can light it up. I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel it for you inside. So there won't be nothing tonight. We crossed the line, and now it's clear to see the light behind the suffering. Believe we'll finally be free. Let the silhouette cast upon your heart, turning every little moment into scars. Baby, it's our chance to make a start, so we can fly.
I know that we will make it. I know that we will make it. I know that we will make it. I know that we.
I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel it for you inside. So there won't be nothing tonight. We crossed the line, and now it's clear to see the light behind the suffering. Believe we'll finally be free. Don't stop the rhythm. Don't stop the rhythm. Don't stop the rhythm. Don't stop the rhythm. Don't stop the rhythm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to RFDL Week 9, Day 2. I'm Ecliptic Fades. I'm with Fire and Docky. And Fire, let's just talk a little bit. I mean, you guys look decent up against Dignipaws there, but they will end up winning the Battle of the Paws today. You guys look pretty decent, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like super like disappointed with how we played by any means. I think there's a little bit of a confidence bug going around potentially with our team, and that was causing some of those misses in those first two games. But you go with the flow on things, and we'll be back strong next week. I got full faith in my team. My two players are goated, so yeah, we'll be playing well, and we're gonna get some momentum going into midseason. That's our goal.
Yeah, I'm sure that you guys will be doing pretty well on that when you get to it. But, I mean, at least you guys get a week break. You'll be able to sit back, relax for a little bit, maybe take a little bit of time off of the game, and then hopefully come back even stronger. That's what we hope to see for a lot of these teams, get some of that stress taken care of on this week off. But we still have two more matches for today, and this next one is going to be an interesting one. It's Protogen Rebellion versus Big Dragon Squad. Fire, what do you think about this upcoming match?
I mean, static versus reverb. Yeah, it's going to be good every day of the week with those two players on the field. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a super serious one or more of a silly match, but I mean, it's sure to be entertaining regardless. So with those two, I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think both of these teams are going to be really, really good. Docky, what do you think about this upcoming match?
I just sat back down. Wait, what? Well, who's playing?
Protogen Rebellion and Big Dragon Squad.
Oh, Go Static and Turtles and Heavenly. No, I think it'll be really fun to watch. I think you guys probably talked about it. But the Reverb Static matchup is very interesting to me. I am excited to see those two go head to head. Both teams are obviously very good, so yeah, this will be exciting.
Yeah, well, we are currently waiting for all of the players to be in the lobby for the match. I got everybody from BDS, but we're still waiting on Heavenly and Turtles. So we're gonna have to see what happens with them. Hopefully they're on soon. But let's go ahead and talk about the teams going into this match. Let's start off with Protogen Rebellion, as we should be seeing the full squad here very shortly. Static, Heavenly, and Turtles. They've been doing pretty well recently, but as I said last week, they got a bit of a bye week as Twisted Tails was not here for their match, so they kind of got the week off. I'm wondering if that's going to keep them, if that's going to boost their momentum with another win, or if it's going to slow them down a little bit. What do you guys think?
I mean, regardless how the win comes, it's a win. So, I mean, that's got to lift the morale. It's got to lift that mental up a bit. And we'll see how they're able to handle, because they've won 2 out of their last 3 games, if I remember right. Unless I'm mistaken, which, oddly enough, that means they've been more successful in the last 3 weeks than X3, which is kind of a scary proposition. So, we'll need to see how they're able to handle that success and whether or not they're able to carry that momentum, or if it's going to kind of slip away a bit. But I think if there's a team that can keep that momentum, it's going to be Protogen Rebellion. They've been hungry for some wins, and they're finally seeing them.
Yeah, and it have to be on their minds if they sweep, and if they sweep well, they can pass Dignipaws on the leaderboard. So the ability to move up after being stuck, I think, down in like 11 and 12 for like the last, since like basically the beginning has to feel, I feel like that would feel good for them. So yeah, I'm sure that they're hungry for, like Fire said, I think they're hungry for a win.
Yeah, I have to agree there. The team has been looking pretty decent so far. Not getting the best results, but they've definitely been fighting, getting to Game 5 multiple times. And so I'm just excited to see what they're going to do up next, and they are playing a very scary team this week in Team BDS, and they've been on the uptick recently, only recently losing a couple of weeks ago to LumiMawcity, but Reverb, Rue the Fuzzy, and Meezer going to be on this squad, and they've been looking really good since they brought Reverb onto the squad, and you can see why. 5th in goals per game, 5th in shots per game, 5th in score per game. He's been showing up really big for this team, as has the rest of the squad. What do you guys think?
I mean, which reverb are we going to see? Are we going to see Octane reverb, or are we going to see Backfire reverb? Because if we see Backfire reverb, I know Protogen Rebellion is kind of stacked on the defensive side of the ball, with both Static and Turtles being very formidable on that side of the field. But I mean, if reverb is in the Backfire, that's tough for anybody to defend against. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what side of reverb are we going to get. And then along with that, Rue the Fuzzy. How is Rue the Fuzzy going to be able to handle having both Static and Turtles coming down that attack? Because they might not be the most flashy players, but they're consistent. So if Rue the Fuzzy is able to handle their attack and Reverb's on their game, I think that's going to be really scary for Protogen Rebellion going against this BDS squad.
Yeah, and I think we have an opportunity here, I think, to see two different reverbs. In that one might be maximum troll because Static's here, or one might be maximum sweat because Static's here. And the possibility of kind of beating the Static might be something that Reverb obviously might want to do, or just absolutely troll. So we'll have to see which one we get.
Yeah, well, I will say I don't see a Backfire on my screen just yet in this pregame lobby. So we're going to have to figure out exactly what we're going to see here. I'm still waiting on both Turtles and Heavenly to show up. So if you guys
there's
have
a Turtles
them in
online.
their DMs, yell
There's
at
a
him.
Turtles online.
Show up. I mean, I don't see Turtles on. Maybe but maybe Static can give them the quick invite. But yeah, we're still just waiting on them. Once we get them here, that this game will start. But I will ask, like, Protogen Rebellion coming in as the lower seed here, what do you guys need to see from them to take down such an aggressive squad like BDS?
I guess go first. I mean, the biggest thing that always has been for this team is to shut BDS down, is to shut Reverb down, right? And I think they're in a pretty good position to be able to do that, with Static being pretty familiar with how Reverb plays. So yeah, I think they definitely have the ability to shut Reverb down, but we'll have to see if they're able to actually execute on that.
I mean, for BDS, I think there's going to be two keys to success for them. I think they need to open up space for Reverb to be able to work, kind of the counterpoint to Daki. If they're able to do that, they'll bode pretty well. And are they able to keep their defensive rotations strong on that defensive half of the ball? Because if they're not really able to do that, then this Protogen Rebellion team is the type that will just take shot after shot on your net and will just wear you out until you have no boost. So they got to be able to keep those defensive rotations good and be able to like clear the ball out of their half in a fairly timely manner. Otherwise, they'll get worn down. So, I mean, I think that's the key to success for BDS.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of watching this this chat over here in this pregame lobby, and I could definitely see where we said Reverb is going to be trolling. If they play how they're typing with Static in this lobby, this is going to be quite a fun. But I definitely want to see, they're going to have to try, as we said, shutting down Reverb as much as possible. Meezer as well, shutting down both of their passing lanes. Definitely make sure that they're not able to pass to one another in any sort of circumstance. That is one of the biggest things to do for Progen. Meanwhile, for the other side, for BDS, just keep doing what you've been doing. Put on that pressure. Expect Turtles to be throwing. That's what we kind of expected for him. So we'll just see how they play coming into this one. But I mean, Fire, would you go ahead and let us know what the predictions for this match are?
Yeah, predictions were a bit fun for this one because it was kind of all over the place from our prediction crew. Fades, you said BDS was going to take it in 4, while the only other BDS believer was me, saying that BDS was going to take it in 5 in a reverse sweep. While on the contrary, Arilax said Protogen Rebellion in 4, Daki said Protogen Rebellion in 5, and Gala said that Protogen Rebellion was going to take it in a Game 5 overtime. So, interesting picks for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And good news, everybody. We got everybody in game. We're all ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this one started. It's the second match of the day. Protogen Rebellion versus Big Dragon Squad. Which of these teams will be able to reign victorious today? We shall see in just a second. Fire, let's get this one started. And we're going straight into it. And you can see Meezer already in this card, but let's check what is Reverb driving, and that is not a backfire, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see exactly what he's going to be able to pull off today as we start this match. Already looking like a bit of aggression for Big Dragon Squad, but this should be an easy first goal for Protogen, or not Protogen, Big Dragon, my bad.
I mean, Reverb in a Takumi of all cars. I'm more acquainted to seeing Static in that car, but I believe Static's in a weird car too, if I see right. Yeah, both Reverb and Static in a Takumi? What is this match? It's going to be a goofy one, as we see Reverb taking the ball off a back wall, and that's just going to end up bouncing around on the Protogen Rebellion side. The passing plays ringing out for Big Dragon Squad as Static passes it over to Heavenly. Heavenly putting a shot on target. It's a bit slow though, not going to go in. Static going for the angle shot. Reverb is there for that though. Turtles collecting the ball on the sidewall, and Reverb is going to clear it away. Now we see Heavenly trying to take it off of the sidewall, but Static is going to try to be there, not able to get to the ball though. And we're seeing lots of pressure from Big Dragon Squad early. Protogen Rebellion just not quite being able to clear it out of their half. As one goes in from Reverb. Great shot by Reverb, but yeah, Fade, just tons of pressure from Big Dragon early on in this match.
And you can see a double demo coming out from Big Dragon Squad, giving Reverb all the amount of time that he needed to cut that one around Heavenly and put that in the back of the net. And if you are Protogen Rebellion, you're going to need to start coming back pretty quickly here. We know what BDS does when they get the lead. They really do like to keep as much pressure as possible. And this is exactly what we need to see. A quick turn from Turtles and a bit of a mistake on the Big Dragon Squad defensive line with Meezer turning into this ball. Now, lead cut in half for Protogen Rebellion. That is what you're going to want to see here.
Yeah, we've seen lots of passing plays from Big Dragon Squad, but I'm not sure if that's quite the place to do it, because Rue the Fuzzy was a bit awkward on that one, and yeah, Meezer just not able to put in quite a good enough spot to be able to make Rue the Fuzzy a bit more comfortable and collect that one properly. But now we're seeing the more offense from Protogen Rebellion as Static is going to try to center that. It's going to get saved though. Meezer trying to get control. Static with boost passes it middle. No one home for the pass though, as we see Reverb clear it out. Turtles going up for the challenge, and he's going to get the challenge on Reverb. Heavenly, the only one with boost, is gonna go with this for the save, but Static's gonna need to clean that up. Now we're seeing more pressure from Big Dragon as a demo rings out from Heavenly. Great demo, and Static's going to chip that over Rue the Fuzzy. Heavenly is going to take the possession here as we see a bit of back and forth going forward in this game, as we see a bit of pressure from both sides.
Now Turtles trying to look for the path, but it's going to be Heavenly up for it, beaten by Reverb, and Static not going to be able to get back to this one in time. That is going to be a third goal for Big Dragon Squad, and just a little bit too aggressive of a play from Protogen Rebellion there, especially with the speed that Reverb has at getting up in the air. That ball, probably not the best one to go for Heavenly. definitely be thinking about that next time he puts himself in that sort of situation. Now we'll see if Protogen Rebellion can come back here. Turtles will get the ball, but not the boost. Reverb will have control of that. Gets the 50, but it's not going to be in the back of the net. And with half the game remaining, Protogen Rebellion looking to push downfield. Shot opportunity stopped by Reverb. And Heavenly, what a shot, but it's going to be off through the Fuzzy's hood. And it's going to save BDS from another goal against them.
I mean, that was a huge shot by Heavenly, but it's just unfortunate for Heavenly that Rue the Fuzzy just in the perfect spot to be able to clear that one away. What a save by Rue the Fuzzy. He's done it time and time again this season, and he just shows up in big ways for his team once again. Now, we're seeing Heavenly and going for a pinch right there. I don't know who crept up behind him for the pinch, but very interesting play decision there as the ball is creeping towards the middle of the field on the BDS side as we see Heavenly pop it middle. Meezer's going to need to clear that to the side. He's able to do so. Heavenly unable to get the touch. Now Meezer on the ball. Static getting it around the defense, but Rue the Fuzzy once again gets a fantastic challenge. Rue the Fuzzy now on the offensive end, trying to get it towards the middle, unable to get the touch though, and Reverb is going to have possession. Static trying to clear it out, and they're able to get the clear. Heavenly playing that forward, not far enough forward to allow Static to get a shot though. Turtle's gonna need to play this into his corner, and Rue the Fuzzy's just going to not get the touch he wants. Now we see Static with possession. He bangs it up towards the ceiling and is unable to get the shot on net, but Reverb able to get the save. Meezer clearing that out to Reverb, and Static is going to need to collect this. Going for an aerial play, Static taking it high, going to get challenged by Meezer. Meezer able to shut that down. Turtles clearing it towards the middle, and lots of pressure from Protogen Rebellion, but none of it really like effective pressure. Nothing's really going to break through as we head into the final 30 seconds of this game.
And I'm seeing Protogen kind of move it towards the back wall a lot, trying to get a touch off of the backboard, but the backboard defense has been really stellar from Big Dragon Squad all season long. That might not necessarily be the place that you want to aim for when trying to get past the squad. These are more of the shots that you want to see as Heavenly is able to put one in with 18 seconds left. And this is just perfect from Turtles. I was trying to say here, in a perfect example, something that Big Dragon Squad has a problem with defending are some of these infield passing plays, as you can see right there from that shot. And if you can utilize that a little bit more than just banging it against the back wall, I think that you're going to find a lot more shot opportunities for Protogen Rebellion. But with 7 seconds left, they need to be able to push forward right now. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do so, and that means that BDS is going to be taking game number 1.
Yeah, and the ball is dropping right now. Big Dragon Squad taking the first game of the series. Very well played to them. And I honestly, I don't think Protogen Rebellion was quite playing their normal game. They were overcommitted on 2 of those shots that BDS was able to put on net, and those were really easy open nets, and you don't want to give BDS too many of those opportunities, and maybe just cleaning up those rotations, making sure they have somebody back before they fully commit to the ball is something I want to see them doing in the second game of this series. As we see this first goal, just a double commit, which left the goal wide open for Big Dragon Squad. So, I mean, it's something that they definitely should be able to do. They just kind of got to get back to their rotations, but is something that definitely I think will be on the back of their minds as they head into game 2.
Yeah, it'll definitely be something for them to consider, and we'll just have to see if they can make the right adaptations. Now, they had some really good chances there, just some unfortunate positioning. But as I said, if they can try to keep those backboard touches or those backboard hits to a minimum for BDS, keep control of the ball a little bit more, they might be able to find success in this game number 2. And they're definitely going to want to getting into this game number 2, because each game going to be crucial for Protogen Rebellion. You do not want to go to a game 2 being at match point, or a game 3 being at match point against BDS here.
I mean, I don't think there's a team in the league that you want to be in that situation against, but especially not Big Dragon Squad. They have been on fire lately, and you don't want to allow them to get a commanding lead in a series. Static is going to need to get a touch off of his back wall there, but is only able to get a little bit. Heavenly maybe getting a bit jumpy there, popping it over Turtles. Now we see Reverb going through the air, but is not going to be able to get the control he wants, and maybe it's that Takumi, that car choice that's causing a little bit of that mechanical awkwardness for Reverb. Rue the Fuzzy trying to get a shot on net, unable to do so though, and Static is going to need to play that out. Reverb trying to take it through the air, is able to get the reset, but Turtle is just going to be able to catch that and get the boost. Turtle's going to try to go through the air, but he gets bumped off of it, leaving Static to try to go for the double, but Meezer going off of the backboard. And you know, a little bit of pressure from both sides, but nothing really too scary for either of these defenses as we head through the first minute of the game.
Now an opportunity for Static, puts it low, and it goes off of the BDS car for our first goal for Protogen Rebellion. And this is well played by Static here. Seeing Pixel turn back for that one, Rue the Fuzzy not in the right position, and he takes it low, meaning Meezer's going to have to get quite a heavy touch on it. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get there in time, but Protogen Rebellion fans, we're going to love to see them take the lead early on in this game number 2. Now looking for another opportunity, Heavenly with the ground pinch over to the side, and that's going to be a second quick one.
Okay, Heavenly, I see you. Getting that little control touch and the ground pinch off of the demo. Great play by Heavenly. That's exactly the way you want to see Heavenly playing if you're a Protogen Rebellion fan, because they typically play best when Heavenly is really getting involved and getting some nice shots on target like that one. Now we see Heavenly going again! A big aerial from Heavenly coming back from all the way on his back line, I believe, to fly almost the full length of the field, get the shot on net, and put that in the perfect spot to get it around the defense. Very good shot by Heavenly. Well played.
You like to see it coming out from Protogen Rebellion. Still plenty of time for BDS to come back here, though. And we've seen them do it time and time again. We saw them do it just last week at 2-goal deficit with only 20 seconds left on the clock, and they were able to come back and then take the game after that. So you cannot rest if you are Protogen Rebellion here. You got to make sure that they don't get any chances on the net, and they might be able to find another goal here soon. Demo, however, from Reverb onto Turtles is going to stop the offensive attack for Protogen Rebellion, but you can see that they're doing such a better job of keeping that midfield pressure up, making BDS actually have to work for moving the ball out of their own side. And it's been working a lot for Protogen Rebellion. Will they be able to keep it up? Only time will tell with 3 minutes remaining. Big Dragon Squad need 3.
Yeah, and that's a goal per minute, which is getting into a little bit of a dangerous territory. That's not an easy task. It's very doable, but not the position you want to be in, as Reverb goes for a big pinch, but is unable to do so with that Takumi. And yeah, I think in the backfire, Reverb is getting that pinch, but just in the Takumi, maybe not. But Reverb trying to get that middle, unable to get that on target though, as Rue the Fuzzy has an unfortunate touch. No, not like this! That's a tragic own goal by Rue the Fuzzy there, just trying to cut off Turtles, trying not to give him quite as much space as maybe some teams might give Turtles, but yeah, just a really unfortunate play there, and you don't want to see that as a BDS fan.
Oh, and that's something else you don't want to see as a BDS fan. 2 shots on net going up, above, and on the post, respectively. That is not what you want to see. The accuracy not coming through for them in this one. Now Meezer trying to get a flip reset on that. Going to be a bit too far underneath the ball, but pressure for BDS starting to mount. And they're going to need to start getting some goals here soon if they want a chance to get back into this game. 1:56 on the clock, still looking for 4 goals. And if Protogen Rebellion are able to score 1 more, you might start saying that it's chalked for BDS. Now Static over in the corner. Heavenly going to take that challenge, and it is going to be past 2 of the members of BDS. They're going to have to scramble back. Now Turtles looking for the flip reset, gets it, but not in the right spot on the ball. Does trip up some of the defense though, and Reverb is going to have to clear this one. Not having time to pick up that full boost, trying to look for the 50s instead. Heavenly going to keep this one close, and the ball goes in front of the Protogen Rebellion net. A double commit by Protogen, and that is going to be the first goal for BDS for Rue the Fuzzy.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a jumpy play by both Turtles and Static there to double commit on that ball. I think either of them could have had a good enough touch to buy the other one enough time to get in position for a save, but with both of them going up there, that's just not going to bode well for them. Now we see almost a kickoff goal in favor of Big Dragon Squad, but as we get down to close to the last minute in this game, Big Dragon Squad is going to need one fast if they want to stay in this one. And with that clear, with every clear Protogen Rebellion gets, it becomes more and more unlikely that Big Dragon can climb back into this game, as we see Meezer trying to take it off the sidewall. Heavenly's there for the dunk, though. That's going to bounce awkwardly. Static almost able to put that on, but we get a crossbar ping as he's just not quite able to get that on. But Heavenly going for the double, unable to get it, though. And Heavenly playing so confidently right now, so in tune, and this is exactly what you want to see as a Protogen Rebellion fan, because Heavenly just playing lights out right now as Static gets a save off of Reverb. Now we see Meezer trying to take it down, and with only 20 seconds left, I think this one's just about over, Fade.
Oh, you don't want to curse them too much. I did the same thing last week. A shot comes through by Reverb, but Static will be there for the save, still in front of the net. And Protogen Rebellion just going to want to make sure that BDS doesn't get any momentum going into this next game. Reverb will have this off the corner, gets it popped over one. The shot rings out, but the entire team has moved forward. And as this hits the ground, Protogen Rebellion will be taking game number 2.
Yeah, well played by Protogen Rebellion. I think their rotations were just a lot cleaner in that game, and that was allowing them to take more advantage of open opportunities in that on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, they weren't giving those full field open nets to Big Dragon Squad. So that's exactly what they need to do to get back in this series, and they executed on it very well. If I'm on that side of BDS, though, I'm going to want to see them maybe get a few more opportunities for Reverb, maybe give him a couple more opportunities to get those more mechanical plays, maybe with some demos or with some well-placed passes off the backboard to just open up some space for their higher-ranked players to be able to get a couple more threatening shots on net. So we'll need to see if they end up going with that strategy, but that's definitely what I would be telling them if I was their coach.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both teams have had some really good chances, but Protogen Rebellion, you love to see it. Heavenly really showing up in that game. And you're just going to have to find a way around that if you are BDS. I mean, obviously you have the ways to do it. You have the offense you need. We'll just have to see what they do in this game number 3. But we will be getting into that one momentarily as we start up another lobby. These guys have been asking constantly for lobby changes, which is to be expected with West players and 2 EU players playing all on NA East. They've been needing all of these server resets as ping has been back and forth between each of these teams. We'll see how they each fare in game number 3 as we get into DFH Stadium right now. Going into game number 3. We're going to see which team can take the advantage first. Turtles immediately off the ceiling, looking for a shot. Meezer and Reaver both jumping for this, but another double commit coming from the side of Protogen Rebellion. And that's something that you're not going to want to see too much coming from PR if they want to take this series. Now, trying to get past Meezer with the pass. It's not going to work out. Heavenly with a shot, but it's going to be low to the ground. It'll be able to be cleared away. Early on, lots of pressure seen from Protogen Rebellion to start this game.
Yeah, they're playing really confidently. They're putting on a lot of pressure, and this is exactly what you want to see out of this Protogen Rebellion squad because, I mean, Reverb isn't going to have the space to do anything if he's just always on his back half. So this is exactly what they want to do, and they are definitely playing their game right now. As we see, as soon as Big Dragon seems to get a little bit of momentum, and going forward into that Protogen Rebellion side. It's just getting shut down so fast. Now we're seeing Static going for the angle shot, but Reverb is able to clear that away. Turtle's going to cut this off in the midfield, trying to deny Reverb any space as Rue the Fuzzy is going to play that forward. He's going to get a weird touch towards the middle of his own half of the field. Heavenly is going to need to get the save. He's going to be able to, though, as Meezer clears that to the center. A little bit of an awkward rotation from Protogen Rebellion. This might open up an opportunity, and Rue the Fuzzy is able to slot that home. Very well played from Big Dragon Squad to identify the awkward rotation coming out from Protogen Rebellion and just slotting that exactly where they can't get it.
Yeah, that was really well played by Rue the Fuzzy there, putting it exactly in the right spot. If it was any closer to the defense, they would have been able to clear that. But now Protogen going to be looking for a quick counterattack. Might be able to find something off of this demo, but no one from the Protogen side going to be able to move this forward. Now Turtles, however, getting a dunk. And as I try to curse them, it does work out. I didn't actually try, it just happens. You know how Cat's a curse work guy. But Turtles doing a really good job at getting that dunk over Meezer, noticing they didn't have too much boost to go up for that, and just playing the high ball, just knowing that that could go into the back of the net. Now all tied up once again with 3:19 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, the control off of the sidewall there, and then just being able to be in position for a dunk, that is really, really well done by Turtles to put his team right back in this game. Now we're seeing Protogen Rebellion needing to play a bit more defense for the past minute or so, but Static is going for the double tap, unable to get it though. Pass off a corner wall, Turtle's going to try for it, unable to get the touch he wants though. Static trying to put some more pressure on. Little bit of a panic from Big Dragon Squad there. Turtles going for the fakes, but unable to get it past the last line of defense. Now we see Meezer going through the air, has the reset, gonna get it around Static. Great play by Meezer to get that ball around Static. Just a really nice reset to tap it around Static. Well played by Meezer on that shot.
And that's just something that we are very, used to seeing from Meezer and Reverb, is being able to score these highly mechanical goals, getting just around the defense. Once again, Protogen Rebellion at a deficit here. Gonna have to try and find a way back. This is gonna be a pivotal game 3. This might go in, but Rue the Fuzzy in the perfect spot to keep that out of the net. Now Meezer getting this touch. We're seeing a little bit of hesitation starting to come out from Protogen Rebellion. They're gonna need to put these shots on target and start going up a little bit faster. Maybe a little bit of nervousness coming out for the squad. However, a chance will show up here. Turtles to Static, but it's going to be stopped by Meezer. And that might be a goal open for Reverb. Excellent placement on that shot to the bottom left. And BDS up by 2.
It's like, how do you defend that? You cover 99% of the goal, and Reverb is just going to put in the 1% that you can't cover. That's just what he does. It's so hard to defend against, and it's almost like you can't even let him have the opportunity to put that shot on net. And as we head into the last 2 minutes of the game, we're going to need to see 1 goal per minute come out from Protogen Rebellion, who is historically a little bit more of a defensively oriented team. So we'll need to see if they're able to get that same pressure that we saw from them last game, because if they're going to get back into this one, they're going to need it. But they're not going to do it like that, as Meezer he gets the pass from Reverb on an open net. Just Reverb doing a really good job just hitting that around the defense, and then Meezer being in the perfect position to finish that. I mean, 30 seconds per goal at this point. Do you think they can do it, Fade?
It's definitely possible for a team like Protogen Rebellion, but they gotta start cutting off these lanes a little bit more between Meezer and Reverb. We said it at the start of the match, that's going to be one of your pivotal ways to keep them from scoring goals. And you're not really doing too well at keeping them away from the ball or able to pass to one another. Now, Turtle's gonna see what he can do, but not a lot of boost, and just tries to dribble that. That's gonna be another pass to Reverb. And as I say, once again, the Reverb to Meezer passing plays are coming in clutch for this Big Dragon Squad.
They really are, and I mean, what can you even do there? I think at this point, Protogen Rebellion needs to just kind of take the mentality. This one might be chalked, but we can come back really well in the next game. We're going to try to watch and kind of learn what is Big Dragon Squad doing to beat us so consistently. And what we're seeing is that it's those passes from Meezer to Reverb and Reverb to Meezer. They're going to need to cut those off either by denying them the space or being able to cut off those passing lanes as it's developing. But now we're seeing maybe a little bit of an awkward play by Heavenly there to try to get on that back line, and that's going to allow Big Dragon to potentially have some pressure. But with Meezer booming that away, I think that's just about going to chalk this one up in Big Dragon Squad's favor. And I mean, Fade, what are you seeing from Protogen Rebellion that you're going to want to see them adjust to as Reaver puts another goal in the net? Kind of a little bit of a chalked game time goal there. As oh, go ahead.
Well, you're asking what I want to see them change here in this next game, and it's just the spacing that they're giving Reverb and Meezer on most of these plays. You can see a lot of the time they're playing a little bit reserved, a little far back. They're letting this ball bounce multiple times before taking a shot. You can see there a double commit from Heavenly and Turtles, so the comms might not necessarily be where they want them to be in this match, and you're just giving up way too much space to the people that you know are going to be able to put on these shots. Now, a shot almost going in for Turtles, but it's going to bounce off of the crossbar and out. And yeah, no, it's just a spacing game for Protogen Rebellion. They want to really start cutting down the amount of time and the amount of space that Reverb and Meezer have with each of these balls. And if they could do that, maybe put them in more awkward situations going into game number 4. Because they just really let go the gas pedal on this one. And I think that really did kind of allow BDS to get a lot of these goals that would not usually be going in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Fade. I think BDS just really took control of that game. Protogen Rebellion just kind of letting up on that offensive pressure, and I'm not sure why they're doing that, because that was definitely successful for them in game 2. And they just gotta keep their foot on the gas pedal. But if I know anything about a static Reverb matchup, it's going to go down to the wire, whether by both of them trolling or both of them stepping up big and making big plays. So if I really think we have a good chance to get a game 5 in this one, Fade, and I cannot be looking forward more to it. But before we do that, we're going to need to see Protogen Rebellion force that game 5, and BDS is not going to want to allow that. So we'll need to see if they're able to do it, but if there's any team that's going to do it, it's going to be this Protogen Rebellion squad.
Yeah, they're going to have a tough time ahead of them now facing match point against BDS. It's always a scary spot, especially when you know that these guys can kind of score off of anything. You're just going to have to really do your best at keeping your defensive touches clean and getting some really good 50s in that midfield. We'll see if they can do that as we get into game number 4 right now. Gonna be a tough one for Protogen Rebellion. We're gonna see if they can get off to a good start here. Now Heavenly and Turtles kind of giving a bit of a pinch to start this one off. Reverb getting a lot of space again. That's nothing that we said we don't want to see from Protogen Rebellion going into this. However, a shot opportunity now, but it's going to be off to the side, and Rue the Fuzzy doing a really good job of getting in static sway so he couldn't take that shot. Now another opportunity. Reverb not going to have a lot of boost, but Meezer will move forward on the play. Demo on one of the members of BDS. Now a shot coming out from BDS, not able to end it, and Meezer not reading that double tap. Reverb will be there. Rue the Fuzzy goes for the shot, gonna be denied. But in the first minute of this game fire, we're seeing so much aggression from both teams here.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a bit of aggression from both teams. I think we might have seen a little bit of a troll from Reverb there. We love to see it as he's in that Takumi. So, I mean, maybe that shows their mental. Maybe letting BDS might be letting their foot off of the gas just slightly as they start to get really comfortable in this series. But now we're seeing Meezer playing it off a sidewall. Turtles going for the challenge, unable to get the touch though, as Heavenly is trying to get control of this one. Bit of an awkward spot though, and Static's going to need to fill in to clear this one out. Now Reverb taking a shot on net, but Turtle's going to be there for the save. Not quite a difficult save for Turtles to make though. He's very good at those. Now Static trying to play this one forward, maybe going for a double tap off a back wall, but that's going to get played to the side, and we're going to see Protogen Rebellion trying to keep this pressure as Big Dragon Squad keeps playing it out of their own half.
Heavenly going to get a touch, but not going to get too far into the attacking third. Static is trying to keep the pressure, looks for the double tap. It's going to go down in front of the net, but no one there to get that goal into the back of the net. And Static going to have to retreat back, grabs this corner boost to make sure no one from Big Dragon Squad can obtain it, and gets a really good 50 over Rue the Fuzzy, but Meezer will be in the back line waiting to put this off. About half the game remaining, no goals scored just yet, as we have a really low scoring one for the first time in this series. Now trying for the bump, it was Turtles, but no shot to come out from Protogen Rebellion. That could have been risky from Static, the bounce going a little bit lower than anticipated. And now Turtles gonna have to take this one out of his own side. Flick over one, can't get past Meezer though. We're just seeing which team is going to have the defensive blunder first. It might be PR, but luckily for them, Turtles will be there to clear it away.
Yeah, and I'm seeing just a little bit of rotational awkwardness from Protogen Rebellion, which is kind of stifling some of their opportunities. But we see Static going for the reset. That goes huge! That's a huge flick off of the reset, which I'm not sure if Static expected, but nonetheless, great to see him playing confidently like that. Static getting the cut, keeping it middle. This should be an opportunity for Turtles, and Turtles puts that away. Fantastic shot by Turtles, and great setup by Static to get a really awkward cut for that Big Dragon Squad, and the triple commit allows Turtles to put that one home.
And that is what you want to see from Protogen Rebellion there. If you want to cause a Game 5, you need to cause confusion on the Big Dragon Squad side. You need to make sure that they are double committing, triple committing. Anything you can use, any sort of miss that they have on that defensive line, you need to be able to pounce on. And you cannot allow them to get any shots on net while you're at it. It's a tough task indeed, but Protogen Rebellion has been doing a really good job of that in this Game 4. Now Reverb getting a touch, but it's a little bit heavy, sends it over to Turtles. Heavenly trying to get the read off the sidewall, not able to do so. Adds the same for Rue the Fuzzy here as Turtles takes control. Keeps it to himself, goes for the pass to Static. Almost works out, but you will have Reverb in the back line that you still have to beat on that defensive line. Now Reverb trying to get it over one. You can see Turtles playing that so passively. It's the right move as they are up by a goal. They don't need to score anything now, but they will take the chances when they are given. Reverb has to get up for that save. And with less than a minute left, BDS looking like they might be in a game number 5 soon.
Yes, but Protogen Rebellion is going to need to close this out as Static gets a great double touch off of the backboard. And I mean, I guess he doesn't want me to talk because, I mean, that's just a great play by Static, great mechanics, and I mean, that's going to put Protogen Rebellion up by 2 with only 50 seconds left. This one might be out of reach for Big Dragon Squad.
But you don't want to count them out just yet. I've seen them come back with less time than this, as a shot could have went into the Protogen Rebellion side. Not going to happen this time, but the ball is passed Heavenly. Turtles has to scramble back here, get a good touch on this ball, sends it over to the side where Static is waiting, and these outfield or these infield plays to get the ball cleared out is something that I'm really liking to see from Protogen Rebellion, especially as time ticks down here. Just keeping the patience, keeping the ball in the BDS half as much as possible, letting that clock run down, and with it being a 2-goal lead, it seems like Protogen Rebellion is going to give us that second Game 5 of the week that we've been wanting so badly.
Yes, they are, and as the ball drops, that is confirmed. Protogen Rebellion forcing Game 5. Fantastic game from Protogen Rebellion. They just look to be in really good control on that one for the most part. A little bit of awkward plays towards the beginning, but as soon as they settled into that match, they just look to be completely in control and kind of playing their game the way they want to play it, which is always good to see if you're a Protogen Rebellion fan. And from BDS, I just want to see them maybe take advantage of the opportunities they're given a bit better, because they had a couple misses early on that might have been able to close out that game, but they were just kind of got squandered. So we'll need to see if they're able to improve that shot accuracy a bit, maybe put a little bit more effective pressure on Protogen Rebellion, especially if they want to take this game 5, which I'm sure they do. So I mean, we'll need to see who's able to get the better of the other team, but it's all going to come down to what adjustments these teams make during this break.
Yeah, and going into Champions Field, definitely going to be interesting to see these two teams. They both looked pretty good coming into this game number 5, and I'm excited to see who's going to take this one. Could go either way at this point. Protogen Rebellion did a really good job of stopping Big Dragon Squad from doing anything that last game, so if they can keep that up, we might see another Protogen Rebellion win. But we're getting into it, guys. Game 5. Teams Live on the live here, and BDS definitely going to want this win so they can keep that top 3 position and try to make sure nobody can steal it away from them. But Protogen Rebellion is here for the upset. They have been on a good momentum these last couple of weeks. Will they be able to close this out in a game number 5? Heavenly for the shot, gonna be stopped by Meezer, and immediately Static with another shot. This time, a touch coming out from Rue the Fuzzy, but Turtles will be there as the backline is disrupted, and Protogen Rebellion take the lead in game 5.
I mean, that's a great bump by Static to clear the way for Turtles, and despite that, Big Dragon Squad actually does a really good job of recovering back into a position to save that. But despite that, Turtles just slots it perfectly in the one spot Big Dragon Squad can't cover, and that's going to put Protogen Rebellion up by 1. Heavenly needs to get a save there. He's able to do so, and Turtles tries for the clear. Unable to get it far enough, though. Static is going to need to control this out of his own backline, going down the middle of the field, a little bit dangerous, but he's able to 50 it over to the side, which is exactly what he wants to do in that position. Now, we're seeing Heavenly needing to get a touch off a backboard. That's going to be a bit awkward off the crossbar, and that one's not going to bounce well for Big Dragon Squad, and they're going to want that one back because they definitely had a golden opportunity there. Meezer putting it off of the crossbar once again, and that crossbar is paying dividends right now for Protogen Rebellion as they have gotten 2 lucky bounces within the past 30 seconds or so, and Reverb is going to need to be in the perfect position to clear that to the side. And I mean, Protogen Rebellion doesn't want to give them too many more opportunities like that, because Big Dragon Squad can definitely take advantage of those if you give them enough of those opportunities.
And you can see during that entire exchange, the Turtles had 0 boost the entire time. They were doing a really good job of keeping him dry and out of boost. And that's what you're going to want to do for BDS, is keep one of those guys out of boost the entire time as your siege continues. Now, Turtles will have tons of boost, but both of the Protogen Rebellion higher ranks not figuring out who wants to go on that ball. It is going to allow BDS to move forward. Reverb looking for the double tap. It's going to be Static for defense, but Turtles is the backline defense that they need as they continue to keep this 1-goal lead. 2:48 remaining, and BDS still need to find one. They might be able to do it here. Turtles with the own goal, and it's going to be Reverb getting credited for it.
We're going to need to see if that one was in yet, and I think it was just going to be in, but I think Static would have had it if Turtle just left that, and maybe that's a comms issue right there. But yeah, that's definitely going to be one chalked up in the own goal counters. Heavenly tries to get a quick one on him, but Reverb is going to be back for that. Rue the Fuzzy is going to clear that to corner. Heavenly trying to get the pressure, but that's just going to bounce to Static. Static is going to dribble it to Reverb. Reverb gets bumped by Static, allowing Turtles to take control. Turtles a bit low on boost, though. Seems to be a common theme this game, as Heavenly tries to take the ball from him, but the comms aren't there for it. Static trying to keep pressure. That's going to bounce middle, but no one's going to be there for the follow-up fast enough, as there's just going to be 2 50s that ring out. Turtles faking it, trying to maybe trip up Rue the Fuzzy there, but it's not going to quite work out as Heavenly clears that back into the BDS side. And we're seeing quite a bit of midfield play. Not too many really dangerous looks for either team until then, but Heavenly's going to need to get a save there. And I mean, as I was saying, not too many dangerous looks for either team. But we're going to need to see who's able to crack the last line defense, and we might be getting into golden goal territory as we head into the last minute 30 in this match phase.
You can see once again Turtles not having any boost, but Heavenly getting a great touch downfield. That's going to allow the rest of the Protogen Rebellion squad to boost up and be ready for this defensive attack. However, Static going to have to get this one. Turtles is in the wing. He puts the pass forward, but neither is going to be able to get up for that one. A minute 13 are left. Both teams looking for that final goal to put in the back of the net. Heavenly is there. Static looks for the shot. It's going to be off the crossbar. And that would have been the goal that Protogen Rebellion needed. Now, with 60 seconds left, Turtles is going to move forward. Not going to be confident enough to go up on this touch, though. And this is going to be a very crucial 50. Heavenly doesn't get the touch. Heavenly now still going to be up for this one, though, putting on good pressure, but Meezer is going to be on the back line, and we're just waiting to see which one of these two defensive lines is going to crack first.
Yeah, it seems like it could be either team at this point. That's dangerous, but Protogen Rebellion is able to clear that away. Now it's on the BDS half. Static is going to be able to get the touch middle. Meezer is there to play to the side, though. Turtles is trying to play this off of the side. Reverb is going to be there for the defense, but that's going to bounce middle. Static putting that crossbar down. Great shot by Static to put his team in the lead late in this game. And we're going to need to see if Protogen Rebellion is able to hang on to this lead with 20 seconds left.
I've been saying it all series. We've seen BDS come back from these sort of deficits before, especially when the clock is running low. There might be a chance here. Heavenly is awkward on the ball, and as I said it, BDS tied this up. Rue the Fuzzy putting that right past Heavenly, who was just a little bit too far cheated up. And now, tied up again, 15 seconds left. We might be going to an overtime in Game 5.
And that's just a little bit of a case of situational awareness right there. You know you're up by a goal. You don't need another one. There's no reason to really cheat up there by Heavenly, but that's just a little bit unfortunate for Protogen Rebellion. But they have a really good mental. They should be able to keep it going into a Game 5 overtime. Their spirits are going to be high, and they're going to be wanting this win. As the kickoff rings out, hard cheat by Heavenly, not going to get the kickoff he needs to be able to take advantage of it, but Static is going to be able to clear that one away. Meezer trying to get a control touch. It's a bit heavy though, and Reverb is going to need to swoop in to play that forward, as Turtles is going to get a challenge here, unable to get the touch he wants, and Static is going to need to back him up as Meezer cuts off that passing opportunity. That's good for Turtles. Turtles going for the 50. Rue the Fuzzy a little bit awkward. He plays it to the corner, and Heavenly tries to put it on, unable to get the power though. As we see shot after shot come out for Protogen Rebellion, there's the space. Static able to put that home. Great finish by Static to close out this series.
And the upset has happened. Static getting an excellent shot. There was great pressure from Protogen Rebellion that entire overtime. And it's not going to last long as Protogen Rebellion will take Game 5 and another win chalked up for them.
I mean, that's my teammate right there. Static closing it out once again. The magician, the defensive stalwart. Static putting another one home. What else can you say? That's a fantastic performance by Protogen Rebellion, and they really seem to be putting up steam, gaining that momentum week after week, and they're turning into a team that no one's going to want to play as we head into mid-season.
And that's going to have a lot of implications on the leaderboard going into week number 10. Now, a lot of the spots here are going to be contested by these teams that are now 5 and 4. That just opens up half of the slots for the mid-season tournament when it comes to who's going to get those buys. And each of these teams are now going to be fighting for that spot so desperately, especially after that loss. These next few weeks are going to be so exciting. And we have Protogen Rebellion to thank. They had a great match there. And just at the end of the game, just so much pressure coming out from the entire squad. Static just in the right spot and not enough boost on the BDS side to get that. But guys, that's going to be it for this match. We've got one more to end out the week. It's going to be our featured match of the week. When we get back from the break, it's going to be LumiMawcity going up against Clawed 9 to end week number 9. Stick with us, guys. We'll be back shortly.
bound to be hard to find. 'Cause we've already lost our mind. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shit if you wanna hide away. We just hide your kind of play. Second drills up in the memory bank.
No, he just said he's getting a drink. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome on back to RFDL Week 9, Day 2. I'm Ecliptic Fades with Firestreak and Docky, and Docky is away for the moment, so I won't ask him about the match, but Fire, what a match we just witnessed. Protogen Rebellion taking down BDS in Game 5 overtime. That was so exciting.
I mean, you got Heavenly on that team, who's goated. You also got Turtles, who is... I don't know why he chose this time to be popping off like this, because he's still going to be stuck in the desert now. So, yeah, we'll need to find some more goodies to get him in the desert. But then you also got Static, my old teammate, with the clutch goal. Let's go, Static. But yeah, I mean, great matchup. BDS still played really well. And yeah, ultimately, really good to see those teams face off like that.
Yeah, I was very excited for that match, and it did not disappoint. Very back and forth. You happy to see Protogen getting another win in their belts, and that is going to move them up in the standings a little bit. For BDS now, that them losing has huge implications, because at the end of the day, the top half of the leaderboard will be 5 and 4 now, which means spots 3 and 4 can be taken by up to 4 teams in the next couple of weeks, depending on how standings go. And it really does mean a lot of big implications to start the mid-season tournament off. BDS might end up having a bit of a rough streak and not even find themselves getting the bye in that first match for mid-season, which would be quite a shock, to say the least, after the insane run they've been on through the rest of the season. Docky, what did you think about the match?
It was good. That was exactly what I wanted, right? Game 5 overtime. Man, no. I mean, Protogen on a 3-game win streak seems to have completely figured themselves out, and yeah, I am happy to see it. Definitely an upset, but I don't know. They're looking like they might turn things around in the later half of the season.
Yeah, I agree. And also, something I noticed is that Reverb, even though he wasn't on the backfire, still scoring some really good shots. I think he's finally gotten rid of the myth of Reverb has to play on backfire to have good matches, because that was a really great one from them. Unfortunately, don't take the win, but I mean, happy to see him perform still.
That is wonderful to see. But can I also give a little momentary shout out to Gala, who was our podcast guest for last week, choosing Protogen Rebellion in a Game 5 overtime. So I think we might have leaked the script to him, potentially. I don't know, because that's suspiciously accurate. But well played to Gala right there, getting that prediction on the nose correct.
Yeah, have to agree that maybe the script was leaked a little bit early. I couldn't think of the word there for a second, but we'll have to see what their next prediction, their final prediction for the week was. As we start talking about this next game, the final game. See, I still can't talk. It's the final game of Week 9. It's the featured match. It's going to be LumiMawcity versus Clawed 9, and I'm very excited for this one. I hope that you guys are too.
Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. I think this one's also going to go down to the wire if my predictions and my opinions on it are correct. So, I mean, we have a little bit of a last second little change for one of the teams, if I remember right, Fade. And I think we will get into that once we start unveiling those player cards, right?
Yeah, and actually, we are ready to do that right now. So let's go ahead and start talking about these guys. Let's talk about LumiMawcity, who will be having a little bit of a roster shakeup this week. Not Joe coming in for Aerolax today, as Aerolax is still on his way back from his week-long outing that he was just on. So Levi, Avid, and Not Joe. We've seen this roster before. Actually, I don't think we've seen this iteration of it before. I think we saw Aerolax, Not Joe, and Levi. So having Avid on this field here, very scary team to go against. Not Joe, our week 1 MVP, for a good reason. They have just as much offensive power as some of the higher ranked players in this league, and to put them along with Avid, who has been doing so well on the squad, with Levi as well. That team is going to be very scary going into this match.
Yeah, I think definitely not an easy team to go against. Kind of a really well-balanced roster there. You got 3 really capable players, and I'm just wondering what the team chemistry is going to be like for that. And I think if anyone's going to be able to speak on that, it's going to be Docky. So what do you think about that, Docky?
I imagine they'll be fine. They've been playing together for quite a while, so yeah, there's a lot of offense that's on that team, and they'll have to click on that. But if they can, then I think they'll do really well.
Yeah, I think that they're a very strong team. They've been on the uptick recently as well. They've been getting some pretty good results. Previously beating BDS a couple of weeks ago. What was their last? I think they lost last week, so maybe they are going to be coming in a little bit more hungry for this win. As yeah, they got 3-0'd by Black Bunny Gaming, so they're definitely going to be coming in wanting another win. Meanwhile, they will be playing up against a good team, if I say so myself. It's going to be Clawed 9. And, I mean, what can I say about this team? You got Voltec on it. You got Factual. They do really good. They've been playing out of their minds. Meanwhile, there's this guy named Fades on there. He's not really that great. Only thing he's doing is demos by the looks of it. So, hopefully his teammates can carry them to a victory today.
I mean, you say that, but 0.7 goals per game, nothing to scoff at there. That's right down the middle of the pack for the league. And honestly, with Faze's stats so far this game, it looks like he's just playing his role really well. He's not really, other than demos, he's not really too outstanding in any area, but he's not low on the leaderboard in any spot. So he's playing his role well, and Voltac is going to be the player that I'm going to be looking to see if he's able to really apply some of this pressure, really be able to capitalize on what the other 2 players are setting up for him. So we'll need to see if he's able to do that, but yeah, that's my take on this team.
Yeah, I mean, aside from a recent loss, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on the uptick. They have finally figured out the rotations, so I'm happy to see them playing well, and I think they can continue to do that going forward. But they'll have to bounce back from the more recent loss, but I think they can.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Excuse me?
I love it.
I'm. How do I deal with these guys on a daily basis, chat? How do I do it? Either way, let's look at our featured match of the week. Both of these teams are 4-4 on the season. We've got our key matchup being Avid versus Factual Data. And for our keys to victory, defensive rotations for LumiMawcity. Meanwhile, for Clawed 9, Factual in the backline. Very, very important. As always, both of the teams are looking for ball control going into this match. Hopefully, it's going to be a good one. And you can see the rest of the teammates down here. Not Joe and Levi versus Voltec and me, personally, Faves. Which team is going to get 5-4 on this week? And who's going to fall below the even threshold? We will be finding out here real soon. But, Fire, what are the predictions for this upcoming match?
So the predictions were kind of a mixed bag for this one. Definitely an interesting set of picks, as we had Fades, you naturally were not allowed to pick on this one. Neither was Airlax, so it's kind of a small pool to draw from. But you had me and Docky both choosing LumiMawcity in 4, while Gala chose Clawed 9 in 4. Naturally, there have been some roster changes since then to these teams, at least in terms of who they're running with for this week. So we'll just need to see if the changes affect LumiMawcity at all, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and get on into it. The chat prediction is up for you wanting to vote on either of these 2 teams. But while you do that, let's get this match started. It's the final one of Week 9. and it's a banger. 4-4 for both of these teams. LumiMawcity versus Cloud9. Battle of the Blues coming out today to end off our week. Which team will be going 5-4 at the end of this match? We'll find out. Have fun, Docky and Fire.
Well, thank you, Faden. Definitely the Battle of the Blues. This one was selected as a featured matchup of the week because the caster battle, but no Airlax to be seen here today. So we'll need to see how LumiMawcity is able to adapt to that. We're seeing Factual playing it to the side, not Joe putting a shot on net, almost turning into an own goal on behalf of Factual, but kind of some narrow, awkward rotation so far as we see Levi trying to take control. Factual getting a good 50. Not Joe's going to play that forward. Voltac trying to play a pass off of the backboard. Fade's not able to get the touch he wants, and that's going to allow Avid to get behind the ball for a 50. The possession has changed, and it's kind of just a back and forth midfield game. Neither team really getting too much threatening early on in this matchup.
And I mean, it has been some opportunities for both teams. I feel like this has been like a theme for the majority of the day, where these first kind of matches are a little bit sloppy, as teams are trying to, I think, figure themselves out a little bit. But I think that's good for both teams, but that's not good for Cloud9, as a long shot comes from Avid, and it's not one really in position to make a defensive stop there. Fades is a little bit awkward, turns sideways, not able to get back to that one time. The teammates of Cloud9 not even in the replay there, and LumiMawcity is happy to take that goal. They didn't really have to work too hard for it, but for Cloud9, that's kind of a simple mistake, and you kind of try to move past it. LumiMawcity happy to have that 1-goal lead so early on in this series.
I mean, that's definitely unfortunate for Cloud9. As we said, for the emphasis for Cloud9 is going to be Factual on that back line. That's going to be the make or break point for them, and I'm going to want to see Factual being able to make those saves as this series progresses. Now we see Voltac maybe going for a pinch there. Fades putting one on target. Fantastic placement there by Fades to keep his team at an even game, I should say.
Yeah, maybe, I think both Levi and Avid thought that Voltac might have had a touch there. Kind of see them breaking just a little bit, and gave just enough of a window for Fade there to slot that one, and well done by Fade to make sure that flick goes high as possible. And yeah, Cloud9 having to work a little bit for that one, but that's what you want to see. You want to see that equalizer coming in. Nice to get themselves a foot in the door. So both teams at this point have kind of made their stamp on the match. Make things a little bit easier for them going forward. We'll have to see who can break through. As it stands though, this LumiMawcity team seemingly having more pressure, but that's a nice save from Factual. As I mentioned before, kind of on that back line doing what he's known for, and make sure that that one does not go into their net. A little awkward though here from Cloud9. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, as that was a missed opportunity from Nacho, unfortunately. Cloud9 is able to escape out of this one, but just about halfway through the game, and we are still all tied. Definitely feel like LumiMawcity is on the cusp of scoring one here. That's a nice play from FaZe to make sure that it does not happen right now.
Yeah, and seeing lots of scrambling from that Cloud9 defense, which is a bit unorthodox for them, but Levi is going to need to make a good save there, and he's able to do so. Voltac trying to play that one low. Levi able to clear it out. Levi trying to go over the top, but Voltac and FaZe are going to work together to stifle that opportunity, and the ball's going to be stuck on the LumiMawcity side for a second here as Voltac gets the pass down from Factual. Factual supporting his teammates so well there. Voltac being in the perfect position to put that one home, and that's just a great team play by that Cloud9 roster.
Yeah, I love the passing play, and that's exactly what you need. I think noticing maybe the defense is a little bit slow to turn on that one, and Voltac is so quick to get into that shot, and that's exactly what they want. Take advantage of those opportunities when they have them. Find themselves in the lead with just over 2 minutes left in the match, and momentum swinging a little bit. We've seen a lot of offense from LumiMawcity, but they have not been able to put one in just yet, and Cloud9 will be happy to take advantage of that. Maybe get some counterattacks going. Here's another opportunity maybe, but that's a little bit wide. Fortunately for LumiMawcity, no one is there to take a follow-up shot. Unfortunately for them, though, they're unable to get this ball out of their own corner, and Cloud9 seemingly have swung the momentum as the offense has been seemingly entirely on their end, or at least not on their end, but on LumiMawcity's end, but they've been facilitating the offense. Words are hard sometimes. City, though, definitely trying to equalize here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want an equalizer here sooner than later, because if I was LumiMawcity, I would not want to go to an overtime with this Cloud9 team. They have way too many options to be able to exploit any mistake you make on defense. Now we're seeing Avid trying to do exactly that, but Voltac playing it really well in the back line in conjunction with Factual. Now we see Voltac trying to work that down the field. Factual there for the pass! And these two seem to just be on the same page this entire game.
That's a great pass from Voltac. Just a little bit out of position. Levi waiting to see if there was a touch there from Nacho. Doesn't go up for it immediately. And unfortunately for LumiMawcity, that is a massive window of opportunity there that FaZe is taking advantage of. This is definitely the most accurate I think I've seen FaZe shoot in a while. That confidence from Voltac is starting to rub off on the team here, as the shooting has been fantastic for them. They haven't had a whole lot of opportunities, but when they have them, they're shooting the ball incredibly well. And here's another really good shot. We'll have the save. It's still dangerous for them, as this one will roll to the corner. That's not good for LumiMawcity, especially with 30 seconds left. They want to get this ball out. Avid does exactly that. This might be an opportunity for them, but not really. Communication might not just be there for LumiMawcity, as might have been a second pass attempt there. Just wasn't anyone there to take the shot, and just under 30 seconds left, the 2-goal lead. Cloud9 seemingly happy to just let that goal, let that lead sit where it is. They don't need another goal. Just kind of wasting time.
Oh, but that's a good shot by Nacho. I mean, I don't even get a chance to talk before he's putting it in the net, because he just does a really good job of playing that just out of reach of Voltac and then getting the double touch down to be able to keep his team in that match. That's really well played by Nacho, and good awareness of him to realize what he can go for there. Some kickoff strats coming out from Cloud9. I'm not sure if that's the way I would have played that one, but that's fine. As we see Factual trying to stifle that. Nacho trying to get it on the wall, unable to do so though. And Cloud9 is going to take that first one by 1 goal.
And that 2-goal lead seemingly helping them quite a bit there. There was some life there from LumiMawcity in the last 30 seconds there. Just that 2-goal lead's a little bit harder to surmount than it would have been if it had just been 1. So happy to have that cushion. Definitely worth thinking about, I think, moving forward into game 2. You definitely do not want to let off the gas, because this LumiMawcity team will take advantage of it if you do. And only Cloud9 looking to be playing, I think, the best I've seen them play in a while. A lot of these passing plays are fantastic. I haven't seen them do this kind of passing play that we've seen, at least not at this level, I think all season. So something's clicking on them, and they're playing fantastic.
Yeah, and they seem to just be passing it to each other in situations where they were double committing last week. So it's good that to see that they were likely watching that film from last week and maybe making some adjustments to be able to improve their game. And that's just a huge play by Factual. The confidence to know exactly where Voltac is going to put it there. You can tell that this team has been hitting the practice really well as we hopefully head into game 2 here shortly. But we're going to want to see more of that from Cloud9 if you are a Cloud9 fan, to keep LumiMawcity on their back foot a bit here, Docky.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here we go. Game number 2, and Cloud9 just needs to keep doing what they've been doing it so incredibly well. But a lot of offense from LumiMawcity. We know that they can. I mean, without Airlex, they definitely have a lot of offensive firepower. And Nacho coming in for Airlex, definitely a very strong offensive player, so they definitely don't need to worry about that. Just a little bit more communication will go a long way for them. But right now, in terms of ball control, it has been all Cloud9. Of course, we are only into game 2, so that is subject to change, I think, rather quickly. We'll have to see, though, as we're in the first 30 seconds left, and already a lot of control here for Cloud9. They have been able to control this ball, not let it get too far away from them, but that's a big double commit. It actually ended up working for them, though, as Avid's got no boost, has to go for the corner. We might have a flick opportunity, but 2 players will make sure that does not go into the net. And yeah, I don't know, this Cloud9 team seems to be just as good as they were last game.
Yeah, they do. They just maybe missed a couple of opportunities that they were hitting last game, but they're still getting those opportunities, and they're really close to hitting them. So this game I still think is very slightly in Cloud9's favor, just because they seem to be clicking. Now we see a big shot on net. Nacho's going to be there for that one, as we see Avid trying to clear this one out. Factual, it should be back for that one, though, opting to take it all the way to his own back line before making a touch on it. And now we're going to need to see Factual play this patient as Voltac tries to clear it out. This is going to be Not Joe's ball off of Sidewall. He's going to try to get possession, but he's unable to really get effective possession. Almost a Rule 1 there. They didn't quite lock, though, so I don't think that really counts for a broken Rule 1. Fortunately for Cloud9, because we wouldn't want that curse to ring out. As one goes off of the post, Voltac pitching that across the field. That's not quite going to be there. And we're seeing tons of pressure still ring out from Cloud9 as we head into the final 3 minutes of this game.
Yeah, tons of opportunities for Cloud9. That would have been a clip-worthy goal if that one went in. And a little bit of an awkward touch here. This defense is definitely not what you want to be in if you're Cloud9, and Nacho will take advantage of it. I'm not quite sure what happened here. Touch off the backboard, but there's just no one there to follow that up, so that ends up becoming a free backboard pass for the other team, and we'll be taken advantage of. As we were talking about, Cloud9 doing a good job of making sure they control the ball, but that was definitely not a good showing of control there. And though it is only a 1-goal game for LumiMawcity, 3 minutes left is a lot of time. For LumiMawcity, you definitely want that cushion. For Cloud9, you're not too worried. You have been able to score multiple times rather quickly in the past. To see though if that doesn't get to them too far, or too much I should say. Opportunity here for them. See if they're able to take advantage of it. Does not look like they are going to, as unfortunately the ball is a little bit too far away, and I'll not put a stop to that one. But just about halfway through this game, it's only a 1-goal game, and Cloud9 definitely not trying to slow down, but LumiMawcity looking, I think, a little bit better than they looked last game.
They definitely are looking a tad bit better than they were last game. Just those defensive rotations are much more in tune with each other, which is what you want to see. Maybe they're gelling as a team as this series goes on, because I wouldn't imagine that they would have practiced with this roster too much. But we will need to see as we see Voltac popping that off the side. Fade's going for the challenge. Fade's unable to get anything too good as we see Factual take the shot on net. Avid is there on the back line for him. The pass down is going to be right on Voltac's hood, and that's the 3rd time I think I've seen Factual and Voltac pass it to each other for a goal, and those two just seem to be in sync with each other.
Yeah, it's such a good pass too. I think Avid was waiting for a touch from one of the other LumiMawcity players, but Factual so quick to that one, and Voltac is in literally the only spot where that ball could have gone in a scoring position. And what you want to see out of these passing plays, they have to be tight, make sure that it does not turn into a counterattack, and really well played from Cloud9. They took advantage of an opportunity they had and managed to equalize this game. To see if they're able to continue that momentum going forward, as a nice flick from Factual goes up. That's an awkward ball, but Joe will have that off to the side, and still dangerous though for Cloud9, or for LumiMawcity, as this ball is still in an attacking position, as a great demo comes from Fade, but not the pass that I think Voltac was looking for. That might put it into it, but again, this was cut off again. Cloud9 team seem to have a lot of confidence. They are jumping at everything. They do not seem to be hesitating at all, and that's definitely working in their favor. I don't want to get too ahead of themselves here, though. It is still a tied game, and I'd love them sure to take this one and put LumiMawcity on triple match point, but as it stands right now, we are still at a tie. Neither team necessarily in an advantage. This ball has been pretty neutral for the past minute or so.
Yeah, both teams vying for a favorable position as Nacho clears this to the side, and neither of them really being able to find it, but this is going to pop high. Levi's going to need to clear the corner. He's able to get the touch, but Nacho taking the boost and rotating ball side there. We see Factual getting a shot on net, not good enough to get past Nacho though, and he was a little bit awkward there, maybe a missed opportunity. Now we see Nacho trying to play that forward. That's going to get over, and Factual is going to need to be there for the backline defense once again. Factual showing up in huge ways for his team. Now we're seeing Voltac trying to get a 50 there. That's going to bounce middle, but Levi is going to have that over Factual. Both of the backline players for Cloud9 low on boost. They're going to need to scramble back and recoup that. Factual getting a challenge. Fades playing it forward. Fades trying for a shot on net. Nacho should be there though, but he's not. And Fades is going to be able to put that one home. How did that get in the net?
Oh my goodness, I think there was the scare of a bump. I don't even know if Nacho noticed that was going to happen, as kind of pushed up to try to force the shot, but obviously after the force, Levi was demoed, so there wasn't anyone there to collect the easy save, and it's a really well played. That's great awareness. I think that was Voltac going for that demo to make sure that there was no one back there, and I mean that's the worst case scenario for LumiMawcity, going in with 1 second left. And Cloud9 though, well played. I mean that's definitely the goal you want to take that game and put them on triple match point. That's such a good play there. But we've seen that all series long. A lot of their goals come off of these fantastic team plays, not a lot of solo plays, and I think that's what we kind of expected from early on. We haven't seen a lot of that, but they're doing it now and they're doing it well.
Yeah, they are doing it really well, and I mean, if I was LumiMawcity in this spot, I would not be disappointed at all with your performance up to this point, because it is really tough to sub out a GC3 for a GC1 and still remain competitive, and they have been very competitive these last couple of games. So if they're able to just keep their heads up and be able to really stay tight in these games, I think it is a positive result for them. But Clawed9 just seem to play so well right now, better than we've ever seen them play before, which is making it all that much more difficult for LumiMawcity. And I think they do have the potential to take a game or two off, but do you think there is a world in which a reverse sweep happens here, Docky?
I mean, I'm sure LumiMawcity would love to. This team did get reverse swept earlier in the season, so I'm sure they'd love to do that to another team, but I mean, obviously they're going to be trying for it. I don't think they want to lose this one. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you counteract this Clawed9. You definitely need to make adjustments if you want to have a chance to reverse sweep, because as it is right now, this Clawed9 team is firing on all cylinders. They are playing so well around each other. It's just so difficult to counteract unless you actively try to. You're going to need to try to get some of these counterattacks going, cut off some of these passing plays. Unless this Clawed9 team will have a free range here. Potential for a sweep is definitely looming. Even though almost the team is good enough to do it. I think they definitely have the ability to shut this team down. They will have to start now. It's a great save comes through, as Voltec will not be able to put that one away. Might be an opportunity here. LumiMawcity is past one, but that ball will just roll very safely over to Clawed9's side, and it's kind of what you don't want. You don't want to be giving them the opportunity to control the ball and set the pace of this game, as you definitely need to run away with this one if you want to have a chance at that reverse sweep.
Yeah, you definitely do, and I mean, I'm seeing Levi coming out with a car change right here, which might be good luck for that LumiMawcity squad as they're able to put in an early goal. Great play. Levi just banged that to the middle, and Avid being there for the shot. But yeah, Levi changing to the Batmobile. We've seen it from a couple times earlier in the season, and it seems to be working for him, which is good to see. Now we see Levi trying to get a touch on that kickoff. Unable to do so, though. Nacho's going to need to clear that out. Fades, pinching it off a corner, and Avid is going to clear that forward. We see Voltac trying to get a play there, but Avid is just taking over this game, it seems, as he puts a second one in the net.
We know Avid can do this. Absolutely take the game into his own hands. And done that in weeks prior, and he'll definitely need to do it now if they want to have a chance here. And this is exactly what you need out of Avid. It's such a well-placed shot. I mean, it's just the bump is unfortunate, but being able to take the bump, it's not a very good bump because it leaves him in a shooting position, but noticing that and immediately shooting that on net, very well done from Avid. And that 2-goal lead for LumiMawcity has to feel so good. They're struggling the past 2 games to try to get a win here. So at this point, with this cushion, I don't know if they should necessarily try to continue to run the score up. Maybe play to slow down, try to, I think, put a stop to this momentum that Clawed9's had so far. You put 2 up quickly, and I'll have to see if they're able to control here, as they definitely seem to have switched things up a little bit. It's nice seeing Avid, I think, play this confidently. I've already seen a lot of opportunities come out of them so quickly. I'll have to see if they're able to continue this. Here's another opportunity for Nacho, and we'll take a little bit too awkward there. I'm not sure exactly the positioning there. Goes for that. I think maybe comes off the post, and it's not able to get down in time. And fortunately for Clawed9, that will be another goal for LumiMawcity. But good for LumiMawcity is that will put them up 3, and that's the cushion I think they were looking for.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do if they want to try for a reverse sweep here, and it's good to see they are playing confidently despite those first few games going not the way they hoped, I'm sure. So well played to LumiMawcity to keep their heads up and stay in this one. Now we see Factual trying to clear this to the middle. Voltac unable to get to it, though. And Fate's trying to pop that up for himself, but Nacho is just there. And it seems like, to me, it seems like LumiMawcity is just giving Clawed9 a lot less space to work with as they head into this game. And even when they do have the space, Clawed9 is kind of a bit more panicky, almost if they are expecting a challenge to ring up really quickly for them. So, I mean, yeah, they just seem to be under a lot more pressure, and this is really good for LumiMawcity. We see them trying to pass it to the middle. Factual's going to be there for that. Nacho playing it to the corner. Voltac getting a 50. Fade's going to try to be up for that, just not fast enough though. And that's going to mean Factual is going to need to 50 that 2 corner. Now we see Clawed9 in retreat. Voltac trying to step up and get a challenge there. Unable to do so though. And the 50 is going to ring out to the midfield. Lots of midfield play as we see a shot go on net. Fantastic save by Voltac. And I mean, 2 minutes left. Clawed9 is going to need to find 3 quickly if they want to take this to an overtime.
Yeah, I've been seeing just run to the corners, take all the boost from basically everybody. As feels like all of Clawed9 has been on 0 boost for at least a minute. Finally able to get a break and get some boost of their own, but it's definitely been a change of pace. This game is significantly different than the last 2 ones in terms of pressure, as LumiMawcity has just been all over the place, controlling the boost and controlling the ball. And it's kind of how that momentum works, right? You kind of start getting those swings and you start stealing boost, and next thing you know, you've been on offense for what feels like half the game, and it kind of works like ones, where you works in your favor as you build up the momentum and you're able to start getting some more of these goals as Avid puts yet another one in and put them up 4. And yeah, it's an unfortunate touch, I think, there from Fade, but you know, when you're down 3, you're trying to kind of hope for some of these pop-ups to get any goals going. You're not too worried about your defense, and of course, unfortunately for you, that will mean a goal goes in your net, and LumiMawcity finds themselves up 4.
Yeah, Clawed9, you know, they're going to need to find roughly a goal every 15 seconds or so, and that's tough even in ones to be able to pull off, much less threes. So at this point, I think what's in their own best interest is to just look at what LumiMawcity is doing to be able to take over this game, see what they need to adjust to, and really take the time to be able to adjust to it. As Nacho puts another shot, and it seems like Clawed9 just doesn't have an answer for it right now, despite being up 2 games in the series, but that's sure to be shrinking to 1 game once this one is over.
Unfortunately for Clawed9, I think both teammates going into the same corner. He's net completely open, and we'll be taking advantage of it once again. Another goal will go in for LumiMawcity. At this point, you're down 5, 30 seconds left. You just gotta start thinking about the next match. You still have 2 games, so you're still on that match point. Not dire for you yet. You start thinking about, like we were saying, what do you need to do to change again and out. Maybe start using this now as kind of a mini timeout. Start testing some stuff out. You're definitely not going to win this one, so you need time to figure out exactly what you need to do to talk to your team and see if they're able to do that, though.
Yeah, 10 seconds left in this one, and there's no hope for Clawed9 to be able to come back into this one as Voltac takes it over the top. They're probably going to just want down this, maybe get one for the road if you are Clawed9, but nothing doing. LumiMawcity takes game 3 in commanding fashion, and I mean, hats off to LumiMawcity. They've kept their heads up, and they played really, really well that game. So, I mean, we'll need to see if they're able to keep that up going into game 4, but they definitely have the momentum right now.
Yeah, talk about us playing, right? I mean, you had losing the first 2 matches, and losing them in kind of not a you know, it wasn't entirely a blowout, but it definitely was commanding, I think, by Clawed9, and then immediately turning around and being 5 up, not allowing a single goal in. And yeah, if you're gonna try to start over a sweep, I think that's the statement game for you. That's how you do it. And a very good job of that. So we'll have to see if they're able to continue this momentum. But for right now, they definitely are holding, I think, some of the cards here.
Yeah, they are holding the cards right now. We just need to see if a new game and a new, you know, just a reset will help out Clawed9 in this one. But we will need to see, because they're definitely going to need a switch up early if they want to stop this seemingly unstoppable force that is LumiMawcity in that game 3. So they're going to need to switch up some things. They'll need to reset themselves, readjust to what LumiMawcity is doing differently, which I think is just giving them a lot less space to work with. So as we head into this game 4, we'll need to see if LumiMawcity's pressure is going to keep up as the kickoff rings out. It's going to go in LumiMawcity's favor, but Factual is going to try to get possession, unable to do so though, and no passing opportunity there for Clawed9. Avid trying to get a challenge that's going to drop to Levi. Levi is going to play it off a backboard, but sees Factual is there and opts to not go for it. Nacho playing that to the middle. Voltac is going to need to clear this out with no boost. Avid tries to play it high, but a bump rings out and he's not going to be able to follow it up. And immediately we're seeing yet more pressure by LumiMawcity, but that's going to get beat on the counter attack with a bump in net, which is going to let Fades get an easy goal off of a pass from Factual, followed by a bump.
Man, that has to feel good for Cloud9. They were not able to score at all in the last game, and in the first 30 seconds, they get another nice team play. So the threat of that bump here push Avid into the net, and yeah, then definitely a good way to shut down, I think, some of that momentum that LumiMawcity had coming off of that last game, where they threw up 5, they did not allow them to score at all, and that's just feel like a weight off your back, not being able to score the entirety of it, and then getting the first one here as well. Cloud9, that has to feel pretty good, but if you're LumiMawcity, it's a little bit scary. You don't want to see Cloud9 going back to what they were doing so well in those first 2 games, and those passing plays and the team plays, and we'll have to answer quickly, though. Obviously, though, you got tons of time. It's only a 1-goal game. Definitely not anywhere near over. Just see if they're able to respond.
Yeah, and respond they will need to, because, I mean, there are many types of team plays you can do if you are Cloud9, and it looks like early on, instead of passing plays, they're opting for more demo-heavy plays. And speaking of demos, I don't think I've seen a whole lot of demos come out from Fades, who is a top 5 demolitionist in this league. So, I mean, we'll need to see if he's able to put together maybe a crucial demo or two to keep his team with the momentum in this one. But LumiMawcity is going to switch field here. Factual is going to collect it, get it around Notjoe. Levi is going to be there for the challenge, though. Fades, playing that high, is going to just leave it up for Avid, and Notjoe is going to get that over Voltac. Factual, playing the slow game, giving his team time as we see a great double demo come out from Cloud9, and that it seems like that is their strategy going into this game. They're saying, if you guys aren't going to give us the space to work, we're going to create our own space, and they're doing that to great effect so far in this match.
Yeah, the double demo was nice, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to actually score off of it. A little bit awkward for them. Yeah, not being able to score, that was a good opportunity. And this might be causing a breakdown. Cloud9 is like 2 double commits back to back, and it might be hampering their ability to move the ball forward, but it might also be confusing LumiMawcity as they're not quite getting the best touches here, as this might be another opportunity. Wolfpack gets a great 50, but Factual unfortunately has no boost and is not able to jump in on that immediately, and Fade will have to play this one slow. And I'm going to see a little bit more breakdowns. Cloud9 kind of reverting back to what we had seen in prior weeks, where they start to, I think, double commit a little bit too much, and LumiMawcity, we definitely need to be starting to take advantage of this. They are not quite as in form as we had seen them in those first 2 games. They're definitely still playing well, but the play's getting a little bit more sloppy here for Cloud9.
Yeah, play is maybe breaking down the defensive side slightly, but none of it is quite crucial for them to keep, because they're still in positions to make these saves, and I think that's a big advantage of having somebody like Factual on your team, as Voltac slots that one home. A very good play by Voltac to just sneak that around the defense, and kind of cutting me off there a little bit, but Voltac just getting a really quick touch off the wall, quick back to that one, and that's going to allow his team to go up by 2.
Yeah, the crucial goal for Cloud9. That gives them that cushion that we talked about that's so needed. Unfortunately for them, not out of position on that first goal, and maybe out of position in this one as well, as a kickoff goal is through here. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Both teammates going for boost and returning upfield. That's unfortunate, as that's a free cheat goal for Voltac, and that gives them a 3-goal buffer or cushion. I tried to say both words at the same time, and no word came out. A minute and a half left, though. It's got to be feeling good for Cloud9. Not able to score at all in the last game, but they've already put 3 up.
Well, then, in addition to that, Docky, they let in, what, 5 or 6 goals last game? They've completely shut out LumiMawcity in this one. So, I mean, that's a really good improvement for their defensive side of the ball, which is more what they are known for in the league, is just being that really solid defensive team, as Fades tries to get a 50 into the opposing team's net, but he's unable to do so. And if LumiMawcity wants to get back in this game, they need to make a move now. 1 minute left, down by 3, they need to put one in the net on this possession. Not Joe, trying to keep it over Fade. Avid is going to need the boost to go up for that one, but he doesn't have it, and that's going to allow for yet another change in field, and this one, I think, is just about over, Fade.
No, I would call Fade. I'm not quite as mouthy though, so I did take offense to that. But we have a lot of great opportunities. I think at this point, Cloud9 has absolutely gone back to what they're doing so well as we see yet another team play come through. And I mean, this is what they do so well, and they've been doing it so well this game. They weren't able to do this at all last game, but these passing plays that Cloud9 can pull off are just so good. That pass is perfect, and the shot even better. Yeah, I think you're right though. 17 seconds left, 4-goal lead. I think it's quite possible, as this one might lead to yet another goal. And Cloud9, for getting completely shut out, game number 3, does the exact opposite here to LumiMawcity, and what a showing here from this Cloud9 team.
Yeah, this is definitely the best I've seen Cloud9 play all season, and that's kind of a statement win for them, as they were just able to take over that game and really just play their game so well. And I gotta advocate for my old teammate Factual there. He did not break a Rule 1 because the Karma did not come into play, so that was not locked up enough to be a Rule 1, and there is no broken Rule 1s, which I think is the biggest victory of that series.
Yeah, I have to agree. That was not a broken Rule 1. Factual was traveling backwards. He was not ever actually committed to the Rule 1 to begin with, so it doesn't count. But yeah, no, GG's to LumiMawcity. It was a great series. Factual popped off in that series, for sure. Definitely 2 MVPs for him on the weekend, so congrats to him on that. And the team felt good, so I can't really make any complaints there. And LumiMawcity looked really good. Obviously, next time we play LumiMawcity, I would like to play against Aerolax, because I think that would make a great series. But Nacho making a really good fit in place of Aerolax, and I have NA production, so you're welcome. But yeah, good game. Well, if anybody else is going to say anything, I mean, I don't know what else to say besides GG's, and you know, with Cloud9 taking that win, that does shake up the leaderboard a little bit more, and we do actually have that leaderboard ready to show off for everybody going into the end of the week. So let's go ahead and do that, guys. As you can see, X3 Tactics up at the top there. Black Bunny Gaming only 3 games behind them. So goal differential, or game differential, going to mean a lot going into these next couple of weeks. Fox Clan, Big Dragon Squad, Persian 1, and Cloud9 are all tied in record. Cloud9, the lowest of the 4 with that -2 game differential. Everybody else in the positives and looking really close. So once again, records and game differential going to be coming in really clutch for those that want to take those top 2, 3, and 4 spots for the mid-season tournament. And then the lower half of the leaderboard going to be LumiMawcity, then Dignipaws, Protogen Rebellion, and Awapta Gaming, all tied in record as well, with game differential being pretty close. -2 for LumiMawcity, -3 for Dignipaws, and -4 each for Protogen and Awaptic. So even at the end of that one, it's all goal differential at that point. And then Gentle Paws in 11th with the only 3 and 6 so far. And then Twisted Tails 1 and 8, -14 in game differential. They have quite a way to climb back up, but with a long season, anything is possible. And I expect to see a resurgence from Twisted Tails coming up real soon. But what do you guys think about the standings going into the end of week 9, even though it says week 8 at the top?
I mean, oh, go ahead, Ducky.
There's one thing I know about the caster teams is, you know, we're not doing so hot, but you know what?
Speak for
I'm
yourself.
having a lot of fun. Okay, Mister. Okay, Mister. But you know what? I think the biggest thing to think about is how close I think these are. I think compared to last season, it's the amount of. I think like what? There's like 4 teams that are 4-5, which is not really that bad of a record. But the fact that there's just that many teams that are like that close, I think is says a lot about the parity that we have.
I mean, I think it's really cool because, like, really, any team that's 10th and above is still vying for one of those upper level playoff spots where you get the bye. All of those teams can make a break for those top spots, and that's exactly what we wanted to see going into these going into midseason. There's still really almost anybody's game, and even those few teams that might not be fighting for a bye anymore, they'll still be fighting to improve their midseason tournament position over the next couple weeks, and I could see those teams doing some pretty good things in the next few weeks. So we'll need to see how things shake out as we head into these crucial next few weeks, but it's definitely going to be an impactful few weeks.
Yeah, and for sure. And with us taking a break this next week, we're going to be watching the RLCS Major instead. But that being said, that's an extra week for teams to get practice in, to kind of, for some of these teams like Twisted Tails, who's coming in with a newer roster, to kind of just get those rotations down, get everything ready for midseason. And it is time for a lot of those players and a lot of these teams to start getting these strats ready for the mid-season tournament. At the end of week 11, you will have played every single team at least once, so you kind of know what to expect coming out from these teams going into mid-season. But playing 2s and 1s is an entirely different game mode than playing these 3s, and you're going to have to come up with some sort of mind games against some of these teams to try and make sure that you get favorable matchups. But before we get to that, we still have 2 more weeks left. So we have a 2-week break before we're streaming here on RFDL again. Next week for week 10, or should I say 2 weeks from now, our matches are as follows: Black Bunny Gaming versus Protogen Rebellion, Big Dragon Squad versus Persian 1, Twisted Tails versus X3 Tactics, Clawed 9 versus Awata Gaming, Dignipaws versus LumiMawcity, and FoxClan versus Dignipaws. There are a lot of exciting matches to come from that week number 10, and with standings being so close, every single match is going to matter. And for that being said, guys, that's it for us for the desk for week number 9. Make sure to catch us, no podcast this week on Wednesday. We will be back the next Wednesday with the next RFDL podcast, but make sure to come and chill out with us on Friday or Saturday and Sunday, should I say, for a RLCS Major watch party. And of course, be back here in 2 weeks for week 10 of RFDL League Play. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys all have a good night. And from the desk, we will see you all next time. Peace out.
Deuces.